and immersive sound. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to exceptional tech and electronics, plus free shipping on everything. Don't miss out on Black Friday and July savings at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Take it easy out there this afternoon. We have a heat advisory in effect. It'll feel like 104 to 106 this afternoon. We have a small chance for thunderstorms, but most of us will end up staying dry. It's a warm night tonight, mainly clear, 77, and hot again tomorrow. Partly cloudy with a high of 94, feeling more like triple digits with a small chance of storms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check-in for money. Dow Jones is down 61 points to 39,283. Market update brought to you by Pure Hockey. Get ready to unleash your potential this season. Your Wake Forest Pure Hockey store has inventory of the top gear arriving from now through year end. Pure Hockey, your ultimate hockey headquarters.
Love guarded by Keels, gets a screen, pulls up for three. Got it! Caleb from straight away! Jones with one. Jones puts it up at the buzzer. Yes! He ties the game!
Joining with a long rebound, kicks ahead to Smith. 3-ball, right side.
Bang!
Shotgun snap, Bryce Young, pressure off the backside. Throw to the end zone. Shark pulls it in with his fingertips.
And another chance, and the save's made by Anderson. And the fans will tell you, did you have a good night?
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. Nice little Tuesday. Hope everyone's having a wonderful afternoon. Today, this show, if you are a fan of the Carolina Hurricanes, and I know there are many of you, shout out Hockey Towns. It's going to be a good one. We're looking towards the future. Right? I talk a lot about I don't want to be a problems guy or just a problems guy. Want to be a solutions guy also. And I've been complaining quite a bit about the lack of scoring maybe perceived outside of the top line on the Canes. So today is going to do a lot with, well, how could this be solved in the future? And there's 3 names that are going to be brought up quite a bit. Felix Unger-Sorum, Bradley Nadeau, Jackson Blake. These are 3 guys that combined have 2 games of NHL experience.
That's it.
Felix Unger-Sorum was in training camp last year, played very well, but ended up playing his season in Sweden. So those 3 guys are the top farm system forwards, I guess. Right? They're the this happens in baseball all the time where you're like, our infield stinks, but we got 3 shortstops in Double-A, and it's one of them might be able to play second base, and we're hoping one of them develops arm strength to play third. Like it's just like that future moment. So these 3 guys are it, and we're actually going to talk with 2 of them, or we already have. Talked earlier today with Bradley Nadeau, first-round pick from not this most recent draft, the year before, out of the University of Maine. We talked with Jackson Blake, who was a 4th-rounder, but this past year was a Hobie Baker, the Heisman of college hockey finalist at North Dakota. And then there's Felix Unger-Sorum. He is the one that's most cited as maybe can sneak onto an opening day roster. He's somebody that almost snuck onto an opening day roster last year as a 17-year-old. Why should we be excited about Felix Unger-Sorum? Why is he mentioned as part of the future of a goal-scoring contender? Especially when you admit he's 18 years old as we sit here and listed at 5 feet 11 inches and 170 pounds. That's one where you start like telling him, don't take your skates off till the media walks away, right? It's keep your pads on, makes it look a little bit bigger. I played football. I was someone that had a hard time gaining weight. I know all the tricks. You'll be in the locker room after practice, pads off, getting ready to take your cleats off or whatever. Media guy comes in and says, "Hey, they want you in the press room." All right, let me put my shoulder pads back on. Walk out there a little bit bigger, right? A little bit more mystery. Let me put my flak jacket back on. Get the rib protector. Let's not let them know what we're hiding back here. There's a great article on Felix Unger-Sorum in the News and Observer. Yes, he needs to physically develop. And actually, positive news on that front. Dennis, you were at development camp.
I was.
Looks a little bigger.
Yeah.
Right?
See, sometimes
Progress.
like the profile in terms of like height, weight, that's when they were drafted.
Yep.
Definitely looked a little bit thicker.
Little bit bigger.
In a good way.
Even if he's just carrying it differently, right? Sometimes, it's you can add muscle and not gain weight, but you're just carrying it better. There's those things that happened as well. Here's why you should be excited about Felix Unger-Sorum. It's the intangibles. He has so many of the things that earn trust from someone like Rod Brindamore, which I think is the hardest thing these three guys have to tackle. If Felix Unger-Sorum, Bradley Nadeau, or Jackson Blake are going to be some kind of solution or even earn some kind of opportunity with the big league club anytime soon, to me, like there's the challenges, which are immense, of being in your teens or early 20s and playing against NHL competition on NHL ice. Like that is a very difficult task in and of itself, but maybe even more gargantuan of a task than that is being someone in your teens or early 20s and earning Rod Brindamore's trust to be in that situation at all. And Felix Unger-Sorum has some of that. The News and Observer article that I referenced went back to a 5-2 preseason win over Tampa Bay last year. Felix Unger-Sorum played in the preseason for the Canes last year. After a 5-2 preseason win over Tampa Bay, Rod Brindamore, according to the article, quickly in the postgame presser singled out Felix Unger-Sorum with this quote, "I thought the youngest kid on the ice was pretty good. He just turned 18, and you weren't sure how he was going to take the moment. It looked like he had no problem. You like to see that, especially in these kinds of games." Now, I wish I had this thought back then, but as soon as you read that, I'm like, all right, Rod is judging him on a different scale, right? When you start with, I thought the youngest kid on the ice was pretty good, he's starting him on let's judge him like a child, right? He's calling him the youngest kid. Now, a year later, like just by knowing someone for a year, seeing them play for a year, watching them, as you heard Dennis, come back looking bigger, maybe he doesn't feel like a kid anymore. Maybe he's, a young adolescent or something. Yeah. Maybe he's a teen. He's a preteen. He's a tweenie bopper.
He's eligible to buy a scratcher ticket. Good for him.
There you go.
When he got to camp last year, I don't think he was. I think
he was 17 years old.
Yeah, I know. It's like, Mom, I need a permission slip signed.
Yeah. The team needs you to sign this permission slip. What? To get checked into the boards by 32-year-olds in a preseason game. Sign here and here. Thanks, Mom.
And he got to play in Sweden this past year in the Swedish Hockey League and play against grown men.
So even if you are a undersized or your body still has some developing, you learn how to deal with it in Sweden.
Yeah.
Right? They may maybe less skilled, but they're still grown men. It's not like he's still that baby-faced kid. He's the kid that looked the part last year coming back. There's that year of acclimation where Rod might look at him differently. The new Chicago Wolves AHL coach, the Abbott, these were some words he used to describe Felix Unger-Sorum. Smart, high hockey IQ, playmaker. Dennis, I actually think you said it perfectly off air. It's the reason why Jarvis is given so many opportunities. Mm-hmm. Because you watch him and you go, I know you're young, but you play like a vet.
Yeah, you play like you're 30.
And that's hockey IQ, vision, right? Making the right play. That's where that you play like you're 30 comes from. You can tell Felix Unger-Sorum sees the ice, has the vision. Now, there are obviously, like, the hopes and dreams are that he would come back 210 and he wouldn't lose a bit of his speed but that's unrealistic. The fact of the matter is, nobody, even the ones that make it to the NHL when they're 19, 20, 21 years old, are finished products. It's do the things that you do well enough. Do they overcome the obstacles that come with being a young person? We will wait to see. But on a team that needs playmaking, on a team that I think needs finishers, right, needs scorers more than anything, if Felix Unger-Sorm's vision can set somebody up for an easy goal, right, so where your finisher might not have to finish, part of the issue with the Canes last year, outside of really when Aho was setting people up, was a lot of times it felt like you had to, like, the degree of difficulty on some of these shots were pretty high, right? Tough angles. Not much traffic in front of the net for you to take advantage of. There was just a lot of better be a highlight. If Felix Unger-Sorm can give you some layups, that's what you're excited about. If that's, if he starts on the fourth line, if he starts in the AHL, wherever, the things you're looking for to see if bigger opportunities are waiting for him this year is really just how much goal production can you get out of him. I'm not as worried about the weight yet, right? He's 25 and he's still 175 pounds. We'll talk about it. Get him eating the milkshakes. But until then, create point production. And by the way, Darren York, their front office member, did say he's playing in North America this year. Won't be going back to the Swedish league. He'll be playing either with the AHL or with the NHL club. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. And I want to tell you about my friends over at Bailey's, meaning Bailey's Fine Jewelry. More specifically, their Village District location. More specifically, the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside the Bailey's Fine Jewelry Village District location. They are constantly working to bring the coolest timepieces right here to their Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. Not long ago, they had a Norcane event, which I was there, and it was part of their partnership, and they have some of the most innovative watches in the market. They had a Tissot event last week, or actually earlier this week, kind of over the weekend, where they brought in so many of the maybe more affordable but still very, very high-class timepieces. And then today, if you're going through there, they had a Blancpain, another legendary brand. One of the original dive watches is their 50 Fathoms model. They had a Blancpain kind of representative there, just making sure that the experts that work for the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop and work for Bailey's knew everything about Blancpain as they continue to build that relationship. So if you have a question about any of the coolest brands in watchmaking and timepieces, they can answer them for you, right? Go into Fox and Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry in their Village District location and ask questions, right? If you're making an investment on a statement piece on your wrist, don't be afraid to ask questions no matter how big or how small. They'll have the answers for you. You can ask Mickey, their timepiece manager. He'll be able to handle it all. Just make sure when you go in that they know. You heard it right here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Just say Tim told you on 99.9 The Fan. We're going to take a break. When we come back, the next question in our series of 99 questions about the college football season. Stick around.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
There was such an incredible stretch of rom-coms. Where is the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days of the world? Where's the She's All That? It feels like everything now is just a remake of something else, and it's done poorly.
Well, they did remake She's All That.
I know.
Addison Rae.
I didn't watch it. We didn't need that.
Unsportsmanlike.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
An orthopedic surgeon makes understanding pain painless.
It's the biggest frustration that patients have.
This is Dr. Pamela Mehta talking about aches with unexpected origins.
I see patients with pain in their knees, their hips, their back. Oftentimes, the pain is actually coming from their feet.
Bet they aren't expecting to hear that.
Those patients are super surprised. They can't believe that the pain in their knee isn't coming from actually inside the knee. But if you think about it, the feet are the base to your whole body.
That's why she suggests personally fit arch supports. Emphasis on the personal fit.
If you get something basing it just on your shoe size, it isn't going to fit you properly.
And if it doesn't fit well, it probably won't work well.
Go get arch supports fitted to you. It's as easy as going into a Good Feet store.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today or just stop by.
For eligible individuals 18 and older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are your hearing aids sounding now?
A little tinny.
Okay, 2 seconds.
With Jabra Enhanced Selects Premium Package, better hearing doesn't happen in a doctor's office. It happens at home. All done remotely from initial testing to adjustments.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. You get the same advanced hearing aid technology and professional support you expect from a clinic at a fraction of the cost. And if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments 7 days a week, no charge.
Oh, you people are wonderful.
Our premium package includes hearing aids, 3 years of follow-up care, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage, and a 100-day money-back guarantee.
I hear better than I ever thought possible.
Save $300 on Enhanced Select 500 hearing aids automatically at checkout. Just go to jabraenhance.com/try. That's JABRA enhance.com/try. JabraEnhance.com/try.
Imagine waking up this time next week and being 100% debt-free from credit cards, car loan, and personal loans. Hey, it's Dennis Cox. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit can make it happen. Homeowners are turning their home equity into cash almost instantly. With Loan Pronto's AI-based system, you can get approval in about 10 minutes with almost no documentation, no appraisal, and no hassle. You can get hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home. Use that money to pay off all your other loans. The average homeowner saves over $850 a month doing this. Listen, your home value is way up. You can use that to wipe out all those credit cards. Get some money for a home improvement. Literally hundreds of thousands are at your fingertips, and approval is just minutes away. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com, 919-381-1760, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, equal housing lender.
Lowe's knows owning a project means owning the right tools. And during Craftsman Days, you can save big on what you need from a brand you trust. Get a free Select V20 tool when you buy a Select Battery 2-pack. Plus, get your choice of the V20 string trimmer or leaf blower for only $99. Find these savings and more today. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 7/10 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API-SP test limits.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the next question in our series, about 99 questions about the college football season. We're down to 46 days until the college football season. It's not college football, but just if you're counting down, Dennis, you said 30 until the Panthers open preseason?
Panthers preseason opener against, I guess, on the road, actually, at the New England Patriots in Drake, May, is literally 30 days from today.
We're almost there. We're almost to football season.
August the 8th.
That puts me in a good mood.
30 days.
You know what puts me in a bad mood?
What's that?
Brett Yormark, the Big 12 commissioner.
Bunch of stooges.
The question we're answering today in our 99 questions about the college football season is, how do you rank the Power 4 conferences? How do you rank the Power 4? It used to be Power 5. Pac-12 doesn't exist. So I guess if we go alphabetical, it would be ACC, Big 12, or Big 10, Big 12, SEC. I usually say don't do math on air. Don't do alphabetizing live on air. Why would you?
Alphabetizing and math on air does not work.
Why would you even challenge yourself to do that? I ask that because Brett Yormark and the Big 12 media days opened up today.
Mm-hmm.
And the commissioner of the Big 12, Brett Yormark, said this about the Big 12.
And all eyes are now on the Big 12 for all the right reasons. And I think it's safe to say we are more relevant now than ever before. Before I look forward, I'd like to recap where we've been for the last 12 months. Since our last football media day, we added the four corners and solidified ourselves as one of the top 3 conferences in America.
Top 3 conferences in America. You think he was saying we're better than the SEC?
Maybe.
Do you think he was saying we're better than the Big 10?
Possibly.
Or do you think he was saying we're better than the ACC?
Yeah, because he sucks. Not the ACC, Yormark. And his comments suck.
I understand you got to, fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
But if you're just going to lie, why not say top 2?
Yeah. And we're one of the top 2. Oh, okay. Who's won then?
Why not say top 4? Why not say we're happy to still be amongst the power conferences and we've solidified our status as that? You can be honest and puff your chest up a little bit. This is just wrong. The order is very simple to me. When it comes to on-field top-level success, it's probably SEC, ACC, Big 10. When it comes to overall success in football, it's probably SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12. I don't care how you size it up.
Yeah.
The Big 12 is 4th.
You're 4.
When it comes to expansion, you just lost Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah. Your 2 biggest brands.
And by the way, combined for, no national championships in 2006?
Yeah.
And they were your best brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it like this and simply saying everybody in college sports is trying to make us believe whatever is best for them, right? Teams that can't get out of their grant of rights are making us believe there's some way they're going to do it in the court system. Conferences that are easily 4th. And by the way, if you want to open this up to other sports, if you're like, oh, he was probably talking about everything, the gap gets further.
Oh, he brought up basketball. It's like, oh, we had 8 teams make the NCAA tournament. I was like, did any of them make it past the Sweet 16? Oh, no, you didn't. You lost to a bunch of ACC schools. Even during the regular season, you did there, cuz.
And you want to get to Olympic sports? What are we doing here? You want to keep it just to football because then you only get beat by 2 touchdowns. If you want to open up other sports, you're getting mercy ruled at halftime. Everyone in college sports is trying to make you believe something that benefits them. Schools are trying to make you believe students aren't employees. The athletes aren't employees, right? Coaches are trying to make you believe that the transfer portal is going to ruin everything rather than just make them have to make their programs more attractive and worthwhile for everyone on their roster. And the Big 12 is trying to make you believe they're the 3rd best conference in college sports. If you ask me, I'll be honest about it. Rank the Power 4. It's SEC, Big 10, ACC, Big 12. I think the distance between the top 2 in the ACC is smaller than the distance between the ACC and the Big 12.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot closer than the revenue gap, would it suggest.
100%. If you're just talking money,
they're still 4th.
Yeah.
Big 12 is still 4th.
Every once in a while you see a team put out a graphic on their social media, and it says, returning the 2nd best offense in the country. And I'm going really? I didn't think their offense was that good. And then you read the fine print on the graphic, and there's an asterisk that says counting third down percentage in the second quarter as the measuring stat. And I'm like, oh, all right. They had the second best third down percentage in the second quarter. All right, that makes sense. The bold words made it seem like you were saying more than what you were saying.
Yeah.
I don't even know what kind of, maybe NCAA tournament bids in basketball. Maybe if they said Big 12 is the second best conference in the country, that they'd have to get real specific with that fine print to find a realistic option for me to put them above the ACC. Actually, if we're being honest, it's kind of embarrassing, right? Sometimes you have to know what table you sit at, and if it's the kids' table, just be happy with the chicken nuggets. Big 12, kids' table. But pretending like they're eating steak at a white tablecloth restaurant.
We just lost our two biggest brands, but hey, we got schools from the four corners. Yeah, Utah and Colorado. We got Arizona and Arizona State.
By the way, a good conference. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, it is.
The fourth best.
Fourth best?
You made us be negative to you by being too overconfident. If you would have just said fourth best, there's no reason to trash you. There's no reason to point out how you're not.
You're off the podium.
Just say top four. You don't have to rank them. Just say we're top four.
Yeah.
I won't argue with that. You are. You're four, but you're top four. People say oh, we're top two and we're not two. You're top four and you're not top three, but you're top four. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox for you.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Now, here's something to keep in mind. Actually, when I was riding down the road or driving here today, going down I-40, and one of the electric signs with an overpass that said motorcycle safety, be aware of your blind spots. And that's something that as a motorcycle rider, you're actually always taught. Assume no one sees you. Really be aware that make sure that you're not in someone's blind spot.
There's a John Cena joke in there somewhere.
I'm sure
I
it
couldn't
is.
figure it out.
You can't see me. Just assume that they cannot see you. There's something that in there for sure. But this is something always to keep in mind, motorcycle safety. When you're out there on the road, make sure you're sharing the road, not just with your other fellow drivers, but also with the fellow riders as well. But also it's important and vital for us, people that ride motorcycles, that we take all the necessary precautions to be safe when we're out there on the road as well. Share the road together and be safe. But if you are injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. You'll hear from Jackson Blake, Canes forward, former University of North Dakota star, one of the finalists for the Hobie Baker, which is the Player of the Year in college hockey this past year. He's participating in Canes development camp. We spoke to him earlier. That conversation's coming up next.
It's the summer of soccer.
Fiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Hit the line by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant, quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory Authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct's summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's bow time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
That'll be 30 even.
That's 90 points! Sorry, that was a lot. Now that I'm getting 3 times the points on food and fuel with the Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card, I get a little too hyped sometimes.
Cool. Would you like your receipt?
In the bag! Sorry. In the bag, please.
Learn more about the everyday, everywhere Navy Federal More Rewards American Express card at NavyFederal.org. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+, subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com and 12/31/24, void or prohibited.
Now at Circle K, get 2 Mountain Dews for just $4. That's 2 Dews for just $4 at Circle K. Do the Dew.
The Adam Gold Show.
I saw some video of LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry. The last time we saw something like this was the Dream Team. Michael Jordan, the best player. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the 7th best player in the history of the game. This team has LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Historically ridiculous.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan, now joined on the Heister Automotive Group hotline by Jackson Blake, Canes forward, former University of North Dakota star, who's participating in Canes development camp right now in Raleigh. Jackson, thank you for taking the time. We'll start with practice. How's practice today? You guys are just getting off the ice.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Obviously, to be back here, I was here for a month in April and a little bit of May, and to be back, it's pretty cool, and this is a special week. So yeah, the ice was good today.
You brought up you were here. How important was that one game to get that debut checked off the list in the NHL right at the end of the season?
Yeah, that was a pretty special moment for me and my family, and you dream of that as a kid, and fortunately they let me suit up for one, and so big, I think going into the summer and stuff to have that under my belt.
We're talking with Jackson Blake and Jackson. You talk about your family. You're kind of on a similar path to your pops. Your dad was a longtime NHL player, but played college hockey at North Dakota as well. As someone that's been through it, what advice has he given you about this point in your career, where you're in development camp, you're trying to impress the team, you're trying to work your way up to the big club? What does he tell you as far as little words of wisdom?
Yeah, I mean, obviously he's taught me a lot, but we kind of had similar paths to where we are now, and I'm super fortunate for that. But he tells me just be you and work as hard as you can, and whatever happens, and if you play your game to the best you can, good things will happen. So yeah, fortunate to have him.
What are you trying to show in development camp? What are you trying to show to the team or Coach Brindamore or whoever's watching?
Just take that next step in my game and work as hard as I can. I think, obviously, like I said, I can only control what I can control and play how I can play. So just do it to the best of my ability, and we'll see what happens.
What do you mean by that? What is the next step in your game? What development is that?
Yeah, I think obviously, you always want to raise the bar as high as you can and never be satisfied. So obviously one thing for me, I guess, is just work ethic. If I can work as hard as I can, the rest will take care of itself. So that's kind of what I mean by that.
Does the team or a coach or someone communicate with you at all about a path to making the big club this year, or what you need to do to be in that mix?
Not really yet. I haven't talked to them too much. But I just think I know what I need to do, and we'll see what happens. So.
The tradition of hockey, and as you're aware, and we are talking with Jackson Blake, Canes forward, former North Dakota star, who's in town for Canes development camp. As I said, the tradition of hockey when you're making your NHL debut is you skate a warm-up lap before the rest of the team takes the ice. What's going through your head when you're out there? Can you take us into that moment a little bit, knowing the history that you mentioned and everything that game meant to you that you described earlier?
Oh my gosh, yeah, that was unreal. I mean, obviously it was me and Bradley, Nadeau. We did it together and kind of had a little plan going into it. I told him I'll give him a one-timer, and then we'll do the same thing for me. And you watch so many of those on Instagram and stuff, and see all these guys taking their first laps, and right when you get out there, it's pretty nerve-wracking and it gives you chills. And I'll definitely remember that, for the rest of my life. I think it's a pretty cool thing that for your first game you get to do. So,
how many times have you watched yours on Instagram? I mean, every time it comes up, you have to stop and take that moment, right?
100%. I mean, I think after the game I watched it a couple of times, and every once in a while, if it pops up, like you said, you can't scroll past that one. You gotta kind of see how it was. So.
What's that relationship like, right? Because from the outside, and we are, the media covering the team, seems like there may be an opportunity for a young player to get a shot or to take some opportunities. What does that do to your relationship with guys who you brought up, like Nadeau or someone like Unger Sorum, who's there at development camp with you, that may be, obviously a part of the same program, but competing for the same opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool to have these guys here, and like you said, we're all trying for that same goal. So, I mean, obviously, Brad, I know him pretty well after being here for a month with him, and I know what he brings to the table and stuff, and I think we all play pretty different games, honestly, but it's cool, like you said, we can kind of compete against each other every day. So
all right, so if you all play different games, give us the scouting report on Jackson Blake. What do you hope your style of play is?
Yeah, obviously skilled forward, and like I was saying earlier, when I work hard, the rest of my game takes care of itself. But I just love to make plays. Obviously everyone loves to score goals, but I like to see other guys score goals too. So I love to dish the puck and try to set up my teammates and make it easier on them.
Another way to put that, and obviously your dad is in one category, so I'm going to exclude him from this answer. Who were your guys growing up? Who were the players you tried to emulate when you were, imagining yourself on a rink somewhere, on the ice somewhere? What players were you modeling your game after?
Yeah, when I was a younger guy, I loved Patrick Kane. I mean, the stuff he would do with the puck and how he'd set up his teammates and all his creativity was pretty special to watch. And, I tried to put some of his stuff into my game and practice kind of the things he would do. So definitely Patrick Kane.
Last one before we let you go, and we're talking with Jackson Blake, Kane's forward, North Dakota star, one of the finalists for the Hobie Baker, participating in Kane's development camp currently in Raleigh. What does the next few months look like for you? Obviously, right, you're a pro now, so it's hockey all the time. It's year round. You're getting ready. What does the time between development camp and the next time you're seen by the team look like?
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna go home for a week here, and then I'm gonna come straight back here and start working with Billy and all the staff, and just I know how beneficial that'll be for me to come back here and just stay here until training camp. So that's what I'm gonna do.
A lot of you bring up the development and working out in the weight room and all that. A lot of the fans look at really, more than a couple of the prospects here that are kind of on the pipeline for the Canes. Maybe want to see a little bit more pounds on your listing there. Is there a plan to bulk up?
Yeah, I mean, I've grown so much weight-wise through even this summer. I think I was playing at 170 this year, and I'm already at close to 180. So obviously just trying to grind in the gym and do whatever I can to obviously get that up and get stronger and faster and see what happens from there.
What is that? Just housing PB&Js and milkshakes?
Yeah, right. A lot of PB&Js. That's what it takes, I think. So,
Jackson, we appreciate you for taking the time. Good luck with the rest of development camp, and we'll continue to watch along.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Once again, that is Jackson Blake from earlier today on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. He is one of the rising players in the Kane system, potentially getting a chance at some NHL minutes this year. So they're in Kane's development camp kind of right now, essentially, both on and off the ice. Dennis was over there checking it out. Did you notice anything about Jackson?
What he said about wanting to set guys up, I think was definitely spot on for sure. And you can kind of notice, again, that they're smaller drills, so it's not full-on game action, but you kind of see a little of the IQ stuff, and I think it's also just part of being like a hockey family. Dad, like you said, played pro for, 800 or so games?
71 games.
That's a lot of games. That's 10-plus seasons in the NHL. But I think one thing that I noticed from all of these guys is, and I was talking with a couple people in the organization about this, is that young players like Blake, Nadeau, Ungersorm, any of these guys that we were going to talk about, is they come in so much more developed at age 18, 19, 20 now than what they did even just 5 years ago, just because the skating coaches that are out there now and just the training, how it's ramped up over the last several years, and really internationally, not just here in North America. Obviously, Canada has this developmental system, but the U.S. developmental system has grown leaps and bounds over the last 5 years. That's why you had 9 U.S. developmental junior guys get drafted in the first round this year. You're seeing a lot more guys coming from Europe over to the U.S. or over to Canada to develop and play as well. And just how good these guys are as skaters nowadays. It's remarkable to see how all these guys, there are guys that can skate in this developmental camp that 10 years ago, there's guys playing in the NHL that couldn't skate this good.
Have you seen the memes, the online joke things about middle schoolers then and then middle schoolers now?
Yeah,
where they show
100%.
middle schoolers, when I was in middle school, it was dorky clothes, like a backpack, double strapped all the way tight with every book you've ever owned in the back.
Yep.
And you look like a middle schooler. And then they show a middle schooler now. They're the same age, but they look like they're getting
19.
ready. Yeah, getting ready to walk onto the Tonight Show or something. It's wow, you're just really cool. How the heck did you what happened to awkward phases? Nobody's awkward at 14 years old anymore?
Just skip that?
I feel like the same thing is happening with draft prospects, and it's hockey, but it's just kind of athletes in general, because they're exposed, like you said, to so much better coaching, and the information can be disseminated so quickly, where it's if the pros change the way they're training, like 2 YouTube videos get posted, and then every trainer in the country is
doing the same thing.
Exactly. So you look at somebody like we just talked to a Jackson Blake, Hobie Baker finalist, right? One of the best college hockey players. You go back 15 years, even if you were one of the best college hockey players, you had to do so much leveling up of your game before you were ready to fit in an NHL game. And now it's like, all right, we have some fine tuning, right? Maybe some body development, as you heard, right? The milkshakes and everything. Pound the PB&Js, right? Some body development, but the hockey IQ and everything else and understanding the game, and it certainly doesn't hurt that he, like you mentioned, comes from a family where his dad played in the NHL for all those years. So he's definitely getting high level, like just conversations. It's like, what happened to first year, second year drafted players who are just now signing their entry level contracts, looking like entry level contract players?
Yeah,
it's like now you look like you're ready to just walk on the NHL ice. It's what happened.
They were broken up into position groups today to kind of give a taste of what they were like doing on ice today. It wasn't just like, all right, guys, let's just do a bunch of drills. We're just shooting pucks, whatever it is.
Scrimmage.
Which they'll actually have like a 3-on-3 tomorrow afternoon at Invisalign. But they actually had, because they had 2 sheets of ice at Invisalign Arena, and one, they were broken into position groups, so the defense was out in one sheet, and then on the other ice was the forwards and goaltenders, and they were just kind of mixing and moving around. But on one of the ice sheets, there wasn't even a puck on the ice. Not a single puck. I'm like, last time I checked, you play with a puck on the ice. There was just all skating.
It's like the first day of Little League. It's like, we're not hitting it all today. It's all in the field.
Like, like if people that may have played football or basketball, where you're doing like, all we're doing like for linemen.
Defensive slides.
Like, we're doing linemen, like all they were doing was like, we're just hitting this sled, and it's just, that's all you're doing. They were just doing like these different skating techniques. So they were instructing them, hey, when you're working out this summer, or you go to play in your junior team, or you're going back to college, when you're doing skating drills and things like that, these are things to do to improve like your stopping, your edge work, your power skating. And it was interesting seeing these very talented skaters kind of struggling a little bit to try and pick up, all these different techniques and stuff that they were teaching, but they were telling them, hey, this is all stuff to take with you when you go back. This is all part of your development. Do these things on a regular basis. You'll be a much stronger skater when it is your time to actually come up here.
And that's, again, some of the newer developments. And we talked with Jackson there about what the rest of his offseason looks like, and he was like, I'm going to go home for a week, and then I'm going to come right back. There are some things where, like, the organized practices where everyone's on the ice are limited. So part of it is like, give a man a fish versus teach a man a fish. It's you have to give them things they can do on their own. So when the next time everybody gets together, they're better, right? You see this a lot in the NFL with how limited their offseason practicing is. It's like at mini camps and OTAs, they got to give you things to do for the 5 weeks you're about to have with no contact with anybody. And it's you got to teach a man to fish, right? Teach them how to get better on their own.
Yeah, and you see it in other sports where you see like off field, like, speed training, like all these different techniques you do to improve speed and, lateral quickness. That's what they were doing on ice today. And I think they actually had, this afternoon, like an hour-long yoga that they were doing today. So they're showing them, because you only get 3 days with them. Do as much as you can in these 3 days. Like, all right, take these little things with you. And also just kind of cool seeing how the coaches, because you have so many players from so many different places. I mean, you got guys from Czechia, Russia, Norway, Sweden, all over the place. Guys from Quebec. So, like, all these different languages. So when they're showing the instruction on how to do drills, English isn't always a first language, but everyone kind of speaks the language of hockey. So sometimes the coach may have to jump in, like quickly show a guy one thing, and then everyone's like, oh, okay, get it. This is what we're trying to do.
A little charades action?
Basically. It works that way sometimes.
Hey, I don't hate that at all. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's jump to some basketball talk. Is it just me, right on this transition here, that everywhere you look, you're seeing either a Duke basketball player, a former Duke basketball player, a future Duke basketball player, or a Duke basketball coach and or executive? Like, you can't walk 10 feet in a basketball crowd right now without somebody talking about something that relates to Duke. And you may be saying, oh, Duke, I get it, national brand, Duke. What was the biggest story in the NBA over the past month. Who the Lakers are going to hire? I guess you could say the NBA champion. I guess you could say Team USA getting put together. I guess you could say a Duke player was at the middle of all of that, right? The Lakers looking for their coach. It ends up being J.J. Redick. Who was consulting with the Lakers to hire J.J. Redick? Coach K. The Celtics won their championship. Who's their best player? Jason Tatum. Who's on the bench? Emile Jefferson. Team USA gets put together. Who's there? Jason Tatum. Who put them together? Grant Hill as in his role with Team USA basketball. Who was the story of the first couple of days practice from the select team? Cooper Flagg. Who just made their Summer League debut? Jared McCain, Kyle Filipowski.
Yeah.
The list goes on and on and on. They're kind of everywhere. And you may say, well, that's, gosh, you know, everybody just wants. That's part of the reason why you go to Duke. I'm not sure Cooper Flagg gets the invite to Team USA if he goes to Rutgers. You may say that's wrong. You may say that's incorrect. Fine. He's from Maine. If he goes to Maine, I don't think he gets the invite to Team USA basketball. But guess what? He went to Duke. He chose it, right? There's a handful of other teams. If Cooper Flagg went to one of the other blue bloods, he would have had a shot. But I would be lying if I saw the picture, and I don't know if everybody saw this, at Team USA practice that had Jason Tatum on one side, Grant Hill in the middle, Cooper Flagg on the other. And somebody may have said past, present, future, and it felt very Duke-like. Grant Hill was in the room making the decision on who got to come. Fact of the matter is Cooper Flagg was invited. J.J. Redick, right? Part of the reason why he feels experienced enough to be a coach, I'm sure, is because he's been in our lives for a long time. If we waited until he became a starter in the NBA to get to know J.J. Redick, it would have been like 10, 12 years ago. Because he had 3-4 years where he didn't play in the NBA. He was getting DNP coaches' decisions wearing a suit on the bench his first couple years in Orlando. But because we've known him since he was a freshman at Duke, it's like, oh, yeah, he's been around. He's experienced. He's older than he's wiser than you think. And then there's the Jared McCain's, right? Showed up at Duke. What was he there, 6 months? Made a name for himself, had a couple big games, a 30-pointer in the 30-plus pointer in the tournament, knocked down some shots, first-round pick, making his summer league debut. Here's Jared McCain on that debut.
Oh, it was amazing. I was so excited to get out there. I was nervous. I had butterflies, but to get out there and just play basketball, it's what I've loved to do since I was a kid. So it was really fun to play in an NBA jersey.
I'm not saying I'm on TikTok, but I have been told if you are, you can't go anywhere without seeing Jared McCain. There's no escaping. There's none. Actually, you know what? J.J. Redick taking the Lakers job, now I guess Duke is probably in the works of figuring out how they can get a podcast or a media opportunity for one of their former players. I don't know who it would end up being, but that might be the only place now where you can escape. Go to a college basketball podcast. Jason Tatum, by the way, did win the NBA Finals and is on Team USA and is going to be in Paris for the Olympics and is going to be a big story for a while.
And signed a massive fat contract.
Didn't even bring that up. The highest paid total value contract in NBA history is not LeBron. It's not Steph. It's not Kevin Durant. It's Jason Tatum.
$62.8 million per year. Imagine just add an Olympic gold medal. What a 2024 for that guy this could be. Win a gold, an NBA championship, and you get the biggest contract ever. It's a heck of a year for that
That's
guy.
a heck of a couple of months.
It's a heck of really like 3 months.
Started in like beginning of June. Here's Tatum on how it felt to win the NBA Finals.
It's been a whirlwind. Winning a championship is whatever I thought that it would be like, 10 times better. You work so hard to accomplish a goal, and I think us falling short a couple of times made it that much sweeter. And to say the least, I'm still enjoying it. I am. It feels amazing to be a champion.
I talk about this a lot. When it comes to recruiting in college sports, one of the most important things is how much does a recruit think about your school when you aren't physically actively in conversation with them, right? And also, how many reasons do you have to reach out to a player that doesn't feel weird, right? Because let's be real, if you're just a 40-something-year-old guy and you're just calling a 16-year-old to chat, and you're, hey, how was your day? It's going to get awkward pretty quick. Think of all the reasons Duke has to call. Hey, did you see what Tatum just signed? Hey, did you see what's going on with Team USA? Just want to make sure you caught Cooper and Grant and Tatum. Hey, did you see what's going on with J.J. Redick? Yep, we have Duke contacts all over the league. There's a lot of reasons. And then on top of that, when you're not calling them to do that, they're turning on ESPN. They're listening to this show. They're listening to other shows. They're listening to podcasts. And every 2 seconds, if you're in a basketball media world, they're bringing up somebody that went to Duke. It's just how it happens. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly. I want to tell you about what's going on over at my partners, Miller Lending. They are still the home of the no-cost loan. Just because rates are up right now, and yes, we all hear the rates, and we hear all the so-called experts talking about them, but just because rates are up right now doesn't mean you should be paying $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 in closing costs or more to buy down that rate and buy points and all of these things. Instead, what Miller Lending can walk you through is you get a no closing cost loan. Right? You don't pay the closing costs. You don't pay the fees, all that extra cash coming out of your pocket. You don't pay it with one of their no closing cost loans, and you use that money to maybe make up for a slightly higher monthly payment for a little bit. And then when rates drop in a year, 2 years, you refinance again with no costs and fees out of your pocket. You get the lower monthly payment, which is really what we're all trying to do. And you didn't have to pay that $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 up front. You just get to keep most of that money for yourself. The average length of a loan is less than 4 years, and it's been that way for decades. So buying down rates, again, you can do the math yourself or you can have them walk you through it. Doesn't always come out being the smart decision. Give them a call, 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can visit them online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have football at 4 with a question that centers around this. How much does $2.275 billion buy really? Stick around.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0 interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part. You actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm learning to enjoy rich people stuff. Okay, let me try. Gross. What's next? Ballroom dancing. I'll lead.
New Supreme 7s, a shot at supreme riches. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning are 1 in 4.18. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Donnelly here for Zero Res. Get 3 rooms, Zero Resified. That's carpets clean as they could possibly be, starting at just $109, and get a free hallway done on top of that. Just call now at ZeroResRaleigh.com or 919-995-0000.
Move your sports day forward.
It's okay to drive an old car. I have one. It's a 19-year-old car. But what do I do when I catch a nail? I just go get the tire fixed. What happens when my oil runs low? I just put new oil in. I don't go out and buy the new car. But maybe it's time for this team in this offseason to go buy the damn new car.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. A hot one out there, 98 degrees. Heat advisory this afternoon, feeling more like 104 to 106. We have just a small chance for thunderstorms. It'll be a warm and sticky night with a low of 77 under clear skies. Tomorrow's partly cloudy with the highs in the mid-90s, feeling like at least 100 with a heat advisory and another small chance for thunderstorms.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock, check of your money. Dow Jones is down 52 points to 39,292. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. Today we are looking at the Carolina Panthers and their owners, David and Nicole Tepper. Some of you, some Panther fans, think that paying $2.275 billion, that's with a B, as in boatloads of money. Some of you think that paying $2.27 billion to own a team shouldn't get you anything but like a seat in the corner of the stadium where you're not allowed to talk to anybody. This went viral weirdly, okay? This what I'm about to tell you. This like 8-second clip went viral from The Blueprint, which is a behind-the-scenes, off-season YouTube series that the Panthers have run. Weeks ago, episode 2 came out. I mean,
yeah, literally like 2 weeks ago.
Okay,
I think
feels longer than that, but we'll go with 2 weeks ago. A video came out, and then just like yesterday and a little bit on Sunday, this 8-second clip went viral from the thing that went out 2 weeks ago. And it was Nicole Tepper just talking. Nicole Tepper, the wife of David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, was in the war room, and they were talking about trades being made. And we'll play the audio for you, and then I'll explain what happened.
He's like, would you trade up for the guy that I like? I said, yeah.
If you couldn't understand what was said there, it was Nicole Tepper, talking in the war room, he said, would you trade for, the guy I like? And I said, yeah. And that apparently has Panthers fans up in arms. Why is she in that room? Why is she a part of the football decisions? Why is Nicole Tepper even there? Why is she? Look at Dave Canales' reaction, which, by the way, I watched it a bunch of times. He looks at her and then looks to whoever she's talking to. There's really no, it's not like his eyebrows go like, oh.
It was a very clickbaity headline and all that kind of stuff. Wife of NFL owner making draft day decisions. I was like, no,
Nicole
I don't think she was.
Tepper and David Tepper. Most of it David Tepper because he's kind of the public face.
Yeah.
They've done a lot that I think you should be upset about.
Oh, 100%. Absolutely.
Getting upset about this makes it like boy who cried wolf for the things you should get mad at. If you're mad at this, I question your ability to discern what you should be mad about. So now when you're mad when he throws a drink on a Jaguars fan, I'm going like, well, we can't trust your mad level because you're all over the place. Athlon Sports put out an article about this exact situation. Pro Football Talk put an article about this. There's a bunch of articles out there. I have a quote from the Athlon Sports article. Many are questioning the involvement of an owner's spouse in such crucial decisions, a role traditionally reserved for football operations personnel. Did she make any? This is state-owned propaganda. Right? What I mean by that is this whole behind-the-scenes YouTube that this clip came from was put out by the Panthers. If you think their GM and their scouting department was getting bullied by Nicole Tepper, that they would put it out? Athlon Sports. Fans argue that such involvement blurs the line between ownership and football management, potentially impacting the team's strategic direction. You want to talk about making Everest out of a molehill. That's what this is. And guess what? You're going to have to accept a few things about the owners of your team. They get to be there. They get to be in the room where it happens. They get to ask questions. If I were the GM, I would even ask their opinion on some things. Why? Because they're your boss. They paid $2.275 billion for the team. If they want to if they want to go old school, remember when you had landlines and you had the upstairs phone and the downstairs phone? And if someone was talking on the upstairs phone, you could quietly pick up the downstairs phone and just listen to the conversation. If they wanted to do that on every single trade conversation, $2.275 billion says they can.
Yeah, it's their team.
And that's part of the cool part of doing it. That's why we all dream of one day hitting like 7 lotteries in a row, enough to go ahead and buy our own football team, because we want to be in the mix. Now, I'm not saying you have to like her. I'm not saying you have to like him. You could dislike the Teppers as a unit for as long as you want, and in a lot of ways, I think that is rightfully justified by Panther fans. But you can't really get mad at a duck for swimming, right? You're the NFL owner. If you can be in the draft is exciting. I look forward to the draft, and I just like the dumb behind the scenes stuff that's coming out, right? The The Panthers have the blueprint. Every other team has their version. I get excited to watch them. I'm like, oh, sweet. The Seahawks put out a negotiation video. Let's see how this trade happened. And I watched the whole thing. Imagine owning a team and thinking like, I'll have to wait for the videos to see how it went in the war room of this team I just paid $2.275 billion for. No, you want to watch the live thing, not the instant replay. Now I will say, and by the way, this clip doesn't show that she had any input on anything.
No.
Like, could have just been a hypothetical. Like, hey, what would you do if it was flooding in here? Would you try to build a raft or run for higher ground? Like, they could have been asking anything. Just a fun, hey, let me talk to the boss. I mean, I'll even bring it towards this profession that I'm in. Like, I've talked with big bosses, right? Like corporate level bosses about what's going on in today's show. Not literally today's show, but like another day they're walking through, hey, what's going on in today's show? Imagine if I were like, let the radio people handle the radio. Why would I talk to you about what's on today's show? You know, this is what we focus in, which is essentially what all of you are asking the Panthers to do to David and Nicole Tepper. Like, hey, are you thinking about making a trade? Let the football people handle this. You're just the business over there. Go to the other side of the room. Thank you very much. We'll let you know who we draft well after we draft them. You can find out on Twitter like everybody else. Thank you for your $2.275 billion that you bought this team with. That's not how it works in the real world.
I just think Panthers fans, when they hear Tepper and decisions, they're like, I don't want anything to do with it. And understandably so. And that's a justified feeling. So anything that implies someone with the last name Tepper making a decision or influencing a decision instantly goes to don't like it.
Yes. I think that is
100%.
But that discredits your actual anger about bad decisions.
Yeah.
Because it's like, well, if you're just mad about everything. We've all been had in those relationships too, right? Where you're just like, whatever I do, you're going to get mad at me, so I'm just going to do whatever I want anyway. Right? You don't want the Teppers to get there. You don't want the Teppers. No. You don't want them to get to, well, yeah, listen, we tried to do it the right way. Everyone hated us, so now we're going to do it our way. You don't want to see the Teppers with that kind of empowerment.
Nope.
Try to get mad about the right stuff is what I'm saying. There's plenty there. You don't need to drum up reasons to get mad. They've given you plenty of reasons to get mad. Start there. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Hey, if you're a veteran, listen up. Did you know that you can access up to 100% of your home's equity right now? You can do it with Loan Pronto's VA Equity Advantage program. You can get 30, 50, 100 grand or more and use that money to pay off all those credit cards and personal loans, car loans, or maybe use the cash to do that home improvement project. Veterans love working with Loan Pronto because they make it easy. No junk fees, no hassle. They can unlock that cash in your home's equity in a matter of weeks. Don't keep paying insane rates on credit cards. There's a smarter alternative with Loan Pronto. Get more info and start the process now at loanpronto.com. Or if your current VA loan rate is over 6.5%, Loan Pronto can get you in a streamlined refinance with a lower rate right now with no income verification and no appraisal. Lower your monthly payment big time. Loan Pronto makes it so easy for veterans. Call now, 919-381-1760, 919-381-1760. Again, the number, 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, it is a Tuesday. That means cop or drop, and you'll hear our conversation with the first-round pick for the Carolina Hurricanes from not the most recent draft, the one before that, Bradley Nadeau. So a lot coming up after this break.
It's the summer of soccer.
Swiderski for Capetti. It's stolen away by Hack. Kept alive by Gaines. A shot. He scores!
All the saves.
Polina with brilliant quick footwork across his 6-yard box to be able to recover and grab the strike from Kubo.
All the goals.
He just sends it back into the area for Swiderski. One touch. He scores!
The Triangle's home for Charlotte FC action. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle sports leader.
This
is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing. It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Grave Digger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to PNC Arena July 27th and 28th. Brought to you by BKD Tires and Brake Clips. Visit monsterjam.com today.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct Summer Sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
Must qualify for enrollment. Results may vary.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-9313. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-9313. That's 800-575-9313. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too, so we understand what your bike and gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and we don't get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Adam Gold Show.
I saw some video of LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry. The last time we saw something like this was the Dream Team. Michael Jordan, the best player. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the 7th best player in the history of the game. This team has LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Historically ridiculous.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we play a little cop or drop, I want to let you know you can text keyword music, M-U-S-I-C, one word, music. You can text the keyword music to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 21st. Again, that's keyword music to 919-860-5326 to enter for a chance to win a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind later this month. Now let's get to Copper Drop.
You want true enlightenment? Well, I'm dropping.
It's the Tuesday game where Dennis throws everything he can at me. Predictions, guesses, ideas, and I tell him whether I'm copping or dropping. Dennis, what do you got?
All right, so this actually comes from, I'm going to use this question based off a question that one of our listeners asked in our chat on YouTube. This actually comes from Josh. Do you think the Panthers can get Stephon Gilmore? So I cop or drop that the Carolina Panthers will sign either Stephon Gilmore, Patrick Peterson, Adoree Jackson, a defensive back either at the start of training camp or during training camp.
I'll cop one of them. I think they need a corner. Partially depth reasons, partially J.C. Horn is always an injury away from an 8-week absence. And one of the things, and we'll talk about this later in the show, the Panthers have very much built their front seven to stop the run. They are going to try to eliminate teams from running the football. What that means is your secondary is going to be tested, right? As great as Derrick Brown is, he is a run stuffer. He does not get home to the quarterback often. Jadeveon Clowney, as much as he is a disruptor, he does not actually sack the quarterback all that often. He's never had a double-digit sack season. A'Shawn Robinson, it looks like Debo from the movie Friday. He looks massive, strong, physical run stopper. If your front seven is built to stop the run, your secondary has to be able to hold their own in the pass. That means you can't have too many guys. Whether it's Stephon Gilmore, that really comes down to whether Stephon Gilmore wants to go to a team that is unlikely to contend for a championship this late in his storied career. Maybe like an Adoree Jackson, I could see that happening. And Pat Pete, if he wants to maybe get in the mentor game and try to, be the reason why J.C. Horn takes the next step, that's always a possibility. So, those are some options.
It's interesting how some of these high-end defensive backs who are just sitting at home kind of waiting, like, I don't know where I'm going to be playing this upcoming season. It's kind of interesting to see, but I have a feeling these guys are going to get picked up before week one.
They will. I think part of it is, they probably still value themselves as if they haven't lost a step, and the teams probably value them as if they have lost. Like, you're still good, but... And they're like, no, I'm still good. No buts. Like, we're just...
Yeah, I'm good, but I'm still good.
Yeah, but I don't want you to finish that sentence.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is, I think because of where they are in their career, they're really Pat Pete and Stephon Gilmore. Adoree Jackson maybe a little less so. They're so comfortable in their legacy. They're going to wait for the best possible situation for them to go to rather than just, hey, I need another contract or, hey, I want another opportunity. They've done just about everything.
They can pick and choose a little bit. All right, next up here at Copper Drop, we've talked a lot about Duke basketball. Rightfully so. They're all over the basketball world in some way, shape, or form. Copper Drop, Duke men's basketball makes it to the Final Four this coming season.
This is tough because I am very much in the belief of what Duke is doing with their basketball team this offseason. I am impressed. The Final Four is wildly difficult to get to. And we haven't seen John Shire do it yet. It's almost a rule to bet against any team to make the Final Four when it's them or the field. I think if you ask me, Duke is more likely to make the Final Four than darn near any other team in college basketball. I'd be leaning towards Duke. But if it's every other team in college basketball occupying the 4 spots or Duke occupying one of those 4 spots, I think I have to drop it. It's a numbers game. I'm trying to make smart decisions over here.
It's not easy.
It's
definitely not easy.
There's a reason why you get so excited when your favorite team makes the Final Four, because it's not easy.
Would it be considered a bust if they don't?
And probably. And it'll sting and it'll get rubbed in your face a lot if you don't, because of the hype and because of everything that's gone into this offseason. So I guess I just weirdly made a prediction that they're going to bust this year. If you combine the last two, like transitive property, that's life of a blue blood, right? That's your expectations are crazy high, and if you don't meet them, it's a bust.
Your standard or the banners in your rafters. That's your standard.
Exactly. And by the way, this is the problem with being blue blood. There's probably 10 teams that would consider it a bust if they didn't make the Final Four. UNC, yup. UConn, yup. The Kansases, the Kentuckys, Arkansas, now that they're paying all the money they're paying
to Calipari,
to Calipari and the players, the Tyson Chicken guy.
Yeah.
There's a whole bunch of teams, and then 3 of the Final 4 spots could be occupied by teams that aren't those 10, which means 9 of them would be a bust. So it's just college basketball is a cutthroat world, man.
We all know it'll be an ACC school, not a Big 12 school. That's for darn sure. All right, next one up here. Talked a lot about Carolina Hurricanes rookies and some of the prospects at prospect camp. Now with the free agent signings being done, obviously we still don't know what Martin Necas' status is going to be. But cop or drop, the Canes will have a rookie in their opening night lineup.
I'm going to cop it.
Okay.
I think it'll be a forward.
And defense is set.
One of the 3.
Unless, knock on wood, there's multiple injuries.
Well, you're always hoping that you bring in somebody like Scott Morrow and he just makes it impossible. He's just light years ahead, right? You want those problems where you're like, hey, look at this. We got 8 top 4 defensemen. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think one of the 3 that we've been highlighting today, Felix Unger-Soren, Bradley Nadeau, or Jackson Blake, is going to make it so they have to trust him in the 4th line. So one of those 3, which is a rookie, which I think I don't have to predict which rookie. I'm just copying a rookie in the opening night lineup, one of those 3. I added a little bit more specificity just for funsies.
Okay.
By the way, we're about to air a conversation with Bradley Nadeau, who is one of those players I just mentioned, first-round pick from last year's draft.
All right, next one up here. We talked a little bit about ACC, Big 12, and all that stuff earlier. How about how the Big 12, now without Texas and Oklahoma, cop or drop, by the year 2030, Florida State and or Clemson will be out of the ACC by 2030. I'm giving you a deadline here.
I'm dropping it.
Yeah?
I think
dropping it?
Maybe closer to 2036, so maybe 2032 or 2033.
Okay.
I have yet to find an answer to this question, and I've searched. How do you get out of the grant of rights? Until there's an answer to that question, nobody's leaving the ACC. Nobody is leaving. Because I've said this, and I'll say this one more time. Do you know who's the biggest winner in Clemson and Florida State's tantrum that they're throwing?
UNC?
The lawyers that wrote darn grant of rights.
Yep.
That should be on their letterhead. It should be like, hey, Clemson and Florida State are spending millions trying to find a loophole in our legal language, and they can't find a single bit. So basically how much the exit fee and how much all of the penalties and everything for leaving gets lower each year towards 2036, which is when the grant of rights runs out. Oklahoma and Texas couldn't leave the Big 12 right away. They had to wait, 2 years or a year before they could join the SEC. You think this question is making me answer whether I think Florida State and Clemson can get out 6 years earlier. That's a tough 6 years. Texas and Oklahoma are way more rich than any of them. And
they couldn't
get out like a year early. They had to pretty much wait it out.
Wait it out.
If Clemson and Florida State are wildly aggressive, maybe 2032, they get out 4 years early, pay a giant exit fee. If someone gives me a good answer for how do you get out of the grant of rights, I'll change the way I think about the future of the ACC. But I just haven't found it yet.
And if you know the answer, call Clemson and call Florida State and offer your services for a blank check.
Yeah. Actually, call us. We'll be your agent.
Yeah, well, yes.
We'll take very small off the top.
Here's the thing: we'll take you in 2 weeks to Charlotte with us when we go for ACC Media Days.
We'll get you the meetings you need to get.
We'll broker the deal with the people. Jim Phillips is going to be there. We'll all get in a conference room. You can throw some freaking flyer miles at us. Whatever it is you got to do. We'll settle this.
3 to 5% of whatever you take home. We don't get paid unless you get paid.
Exactly.
I seriously, I don't have an answer to that question.
Yeah,
the grant of rights seems airtight, and if it wasn't, Florida State would already be out.
Yeah.
They've been trying to get out for years now.
They would already be out.
You think they really are like, we have an answer, but we're going to wait 4 years to use it? No, I don't think they have an answer.
All right, next one here. kind of going back to Duke basketball, or Duke related, but let's actually go NBA. Jared McCain, top 5 rookie of the year voting. Cop or drop?
Copping. This was a bold prediction of mine a while ago. I'm becoming more confident in it. Now that you add Paul George to that Sixers team, you have Tyrese Maxey, you have Paul George, you have Joel Embiid. You have the ultimate gravitational force on offense in Joel Embiid. You have Tyrese Maxey, the main ball handler. You have the wing player in Paul George. You have the clutch player, right? He's going to be the guy taking the game winners and stuff. Jared McCain's role is becoming so specialized. It's space the floor. And when you catch the ball, rotate the basketball so you get the part of the seams that you like, because you're going to be that wide open. Set your feet, right? Do your whatever your superstitions are. Hit the shot. And he's going to do that 4 times a game, right? He'll take 8 or 9 of those shots a game, make 3.7 of them, and average 12 points. And that's enough probably to be top 5. I don't think he's going to win it because he's not going to have the ball in his hands enough, and there's going to be guys just with higher usage rates on worse teams. But he's going to contribute to a I don't know if a true contender, but a playoff team. And he's going to have a lot of long layups, if you know what that means, right? Those threes that are like, oh, he's definitely going to hit this. He's going to have a lot of those.
Plus, as well, we've seen in just the recent history of Paul George and Joel Embiid, they're not playing full seasons, which means he's going to get a lot more playing time. And some of those games, he's going to be a primary ball handler probably.
And also, they're not playing full seasons, and they're really gosh darn expensive. So there's not like, oh, we'll go spend $12 million on a backup point guard and $12 million on another, Nicholas Batum or whatever. Yeah. Like the first round pick is going to have to be a lot of that. Like, hey, he's going to fill the roles that we normally fill with the money that we're giving to Embiid and George, and now Maxey. They're all. I want to say Embiid's contract is, he's eating into it a little bit, but their contracts are all over $200 million. Like, they're not cheap players for those 3.
Not at all. All right, speaking of Duke basketball, Kyle Filipowski made his Summer League debut yesterday as well for the Utah Jazz. 0 for 4 shooting, all 4 attempts from 3, 0 points, 4 rebounds, and an assist in his Summer League debut. Now, it's just Summer League. You're playing with new guys and all that stuff. But cop or drop, Kyle Filipowski starts the season in the G League.
Interesting. I didn't know where you're going with that. The part I didn't like the most is Edey was in there, and Edey made some highlight plays, and I'm going like, Filipowski, you just come on, man, Purdue, you got a little fight. Walker Kessler also, but Walker Kessler was fighting a little bit more.
Yeah.
Kessler.
And Edey's just a big dude.
Well, like Kessler blocked Edey's dunk, and then Edey regrouped and dunked on Kessler. And I'm like, all right, at least eye for an eye. Like each got each other once. Does he start there? Yeah, probably. They got some bigs with Utah. He probably starts in the G League. I don't know how long he's down there. I don't know if they see it as like, hey, let's get him some minutes and then bring him up. But he probably starts there.
All right, that's what I have.
That's what you have, which means you want to fire up the Storm Tracker? We'll just fire it up before we get to
we're gonna fire up the Storm Tracker.
I like hearing the thunder and everything.
You gotta give me a second here because I was anticipating.
In the meantime, I'll remind you one more time to text keyword music to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Third Eye Blind at Coastal Credit Union Music Park on July 21st. Now, for the Storm Tracker today, rather than going like rumors and everything, we thought we'd go straight to the source. One of the players at Canes development camp today.
Martin Necas has not been traded. Repeat, has not been traded.
Is that a not yet or a not?
Yes.
Bradley Nadeau, last year's first-round pick with the Canes, played with Maine, the University of Maine this past year. Did sign his entry-level deal and make his NHL debut with a one-game appearance at the end of last season. He is in Canes development camp right now with a bunch of other young players. And earlier today, we talked with him on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, and this is how that conversation went. Welcome back into the drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. Joining us now on the Heister Automotive Group hotline, Bradley Nadeau, Canes forward, former University of Maine star, who is participating in Canes development camp, first-round pick from about a season ago. Bradley, thank you for taking the time. I'm going to start with this. We were talking with Jackson Blake just a couple moments ago, and we brought it up, but then he kind of told his perspective on it. The first lap you guys had, right, that tradition when you're making your NHL debut to get out there and kind of do your thing, and how you two coordinated it. Can you take us back from your perspective, what that moment meant to you, and kind of how cool it was to be out there on the NHL ice for the first time as a player?
Yeah, I think, that's something as a kid you always dream of, and then we're going to on the way to the game, and we know we'll have to be doing that. So we kind of talked to each other, and we ended up doing just a little pass there when it happened. But I think it was kind of cool to do that with someone as well, and obviously it was nerve-wracking, but I think everything went well, and it was really awesome to be able to do that.
Does kind of checking off some of those boxes last week make what you're going through now a little bit easier? Because you look at the last 2 years for you, you're going from preparing a year ago for your first college year, and now you're preparing as a pro, and it's all hockey. Does that help at all?
Yeah, I think it's easier throughout the process. I think I think we had a really good year in Maine, which helped with the confidence, and I think having to do the same as a pro now, and with the players you have around you and the organization's always easier. So I'm looking forward to be able to hopefully have a good adaptation period like I did in Maine here in pro.
We're talking with Bradley Nadeau, Canes forward. Canes development camp going on as we speak. What's been the emphasis for you at development camp? What have the main points of emphasis been thus far?
Yeah, I think just come here, enjoy the week. Obviously, we're in the gym quite a bit and getting stronger and stuff. And I think this week is really good for that, and being around those players and see all the talent. And it's really good for us to be here, and with the organization as well. They help through all that process.
You bring up the gym. This is going to be a question I'm sure you're going to hear quite a bit. Listed at 5 feet 10 inches tall, 160 pounds. What's the plan for throwing on a few more lbs?
Yeah, obviously I'm a bit more than that now, but I think it's going to be a lot of heavy lifting, and just make sure you still move that weight fast so you don't lose speed on the ice. But it's going to be a main focus for me here in the off season.
What's the go-to pack on the pounds meal?
I like just steak or something. A lot of protein, but I'm not really fussy on meals. I just try to eat a lot of calories and go from there.
Bradley Nadeau joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline as he's taking part in Canes development camp, former first-round pick out of the University of Maine. Your reputation is, and this is an awesome reputation to have, I'm not saying this is negative, is you're like a sniper, right? You're a shoot-first goal scorer. What are we missing when we're describing you that way, kind of, surface-level stuff?
Yeah, I think I also take pride in looking for my teammates out there. Sometimes I will think of shooting, but I also, if I see my teammate wide open, I like to, kind of use that threat and just pass the puck as well. And I think that's something that if you just describe my game as shooting, that's kind of something that you might be missing out on.
The reputation for the team that drafted you is, if you're going to get on the ice as a forward, you better be able to back check. Have you picked up on that quite yet in your time with the Canes?
Yeah, I think, it was kind of like that when I got to college too. You can't just be offensive like you did in juniors. And I think that 1 year Maine really helped me with that. And, coaching staff really helped me through that process. And I think, here in the Canes is going to be the same thing. So it's obviously something, I got to put the emphasis on while I'm out there on the ice.
Has it been communicated to you, or where do you stand on kind of a path to the big league club? You're a first-round pick. You've shown some flashes that everybody's very excited about. How do you end up in a Canes uniform?
Yeah, I think it's going to be, a lot of hard work, coming to camp ready and, see where things brings you. But I think if I play to how I can play and have confidence in my game, I think that's a good start. And like I said, if I show up ready, I think it's gonna be really really important for me to do that.
And it's funny speaking with you on the same day we talked to Jackson Blake here. What is that relationship like? We just asked Jackson kind of a similar question because if there is an opportunity for a young forward to make some progress towards making the club, there's this kind of group, and you could throw Felix Unger-Sorum and a few others in there. What's the relationship like between all of you young guys kind of vying for the same opportunities, but obviously being a part of the same team as well?
Yeah, I think, the relationship really good. We're kind of all in the same boat, and we're all trying to be in the same spot. But, being here with Blake and all those guys, like you mentioned, is good. And, they're everyone's friendly, and we're all working hard. So it's going to be obviously who comes the more prepared, and then we all want the best for each other. So we'll see where it goes once camp comes.
Again, this is an opinion from the outside here, but going back to his legendary playing career, Rod Brindamore brings a little bit of intimidation with him. Have you gotten used to seeing him around the ice when you're out there getting work in?
Yeah, I think that was a good thing for me. When I came in last year after I signed, just being around the team a little bit really helped me. And you get to know some players, you get to know coaching staff, and that's going to be important and really helpful when training camp comes.
Which players on within the franchise have been the most helpful for you?
Well, I think every single one they're really helpful. Even if you just watch them do what they do, you kind of learn stuff. And also the young guys, they've all been through that process, so they all want to help you through that. And I think every single player's been really helpful through all that process that I've been here.
Bradley Nadeau, Canes forward, former University of Maine star first-round pick, talking to us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline from Canes Development Camp. Last one for you, Brad. I saw that you received an invite to Canada's World Junior Summer Showcase roster. How cool is it and how meaningful is it to you to get an invite like that and to continue to get opportunities to represent your country?
Yeah, obviously that's something, you always look forward to when you're a kid. And obviously it's going to be another great experience for me to be able to go to camp and see where it goes. But I think it's really awesome. I get to do that and hopefully represent my country well.
Bradley, we appreciate you for taking the time. Good luck in development camp, and we'll continue to follow your career.
Thank you.
Once again, that's Bradley Nadeau, former first-round pick of the Canes, looking to make his way to the big club and participating in Canes development camp today and over the last few here in Raleigh. We're going to take a break, but when we come back, it's a feedback frenzy. We hear some of the best comments, questions, concerns from you, the listeners, coming up next.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio, WRAL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles sandwich combo time.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cash back you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Now at Circle K, get 2 Mountain Dews for just $4. That's 2 Dews for just $4 at Circle K. Do the Dew.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time here on The Drive for a feedback frenzy. And with that comes our very own Dennis Cox, perusing the internet, looking for the comments that many listeners leave in places like our YouTube channel, which you should be subscribing to. I ask you nicely to do so. 99.9 The Fan on YouTube. And the best, most insightful, most intriguing, most angry, most complimentary, I don't know, whatever Dennis, it's really his barometer on what he brings to the show. What's the feedback frenzy for us today, Dennis?
The spiciest of things? This actually comes from Mega Tar Heel. This is actually in our YouTube live chat.
Mega Tar Heel.
Or YouTube live chat. What happens if Duke is a flop this year and with all of the hype going on? Just wondering as a basketball fan.
Whoa.
Well, just what happens if Duke is a flop this year with all of the hype?
What happens if Duke is a flop this year?
So, again, all the hype in terms of you have the number one pick in the 2025 NBA draft, consensus number one, in Cooper Flagg, and you have, the top recruiting class coming in, 3 of the top 10 guys in the country coming in with all the transfers and things like that. You put together quite a squad. What happens if they bow out in the Sweet 16?
Well, here's what will probably happen.
Don't win an ACC championship.
2 weeks after the season, they'll be down to just 2 scholarship players, and they will completely rebuild their team. The thing about college basketball now, and especially for a program like Duke, who especially this offseason has kind of embraced it, it's a year-to-year, like every year is its own. It's not like it used to be where if you had a big setback, those players were all coming back and we're going to have to try to redeem themselves or fix their fatal flaws. It's like there'll be some new top recruit that's coming in. There'll be a bunch of new transfers coming in, and they'll rebuild. It's every elite program can do it if they want to. Duke's just kind of embraced it over the last year.
All right, this goes to the conversation we had yesterday about the Carolina Panthers and Adrian Wilson, former longtime NFL player, played at NC State.
Did you see the latest on this?
I did not, actually.
it just was brought to my attention.
Okay.
Josh Weinfuss, ESPN staff writer, put out an article. Former Carolina Panthers Vice President of Player Personnel Adrian Wilson was arrested on 3 domestic violence charges.
Oh.
According to the Scottsdale Police Department, he was charged with intentional assault causing physical injury, damaging property between $250 and $2,000, and disorderly conduct, disrupted behavior, or fighting, according to police records.
Okay, so I speculated yesterday, seems like something happened.
Which you never want to,
Yeah.
go too much in with the imagination on what it could be, but this obviously changes our entire conversation.
Sure.
This is not a Panthers reason that they're unstable in their front office. This is a away from football thing that has to be dealt with, and obviously this is likely the reason why he is no longer employed by the Panthers.
Okay, well then Paul's comment saying, no surprise that Morgan, Tillis, and Canales hired their own guy for player personnel position, just like the scouting department has had turnover.
Yeah, I don't think this had anything to do with that.
Yeah, that clearly does not have anything to do with it.
Obviously, when more information comes out, you have to change your opinions. And with information like this coming out, it does just kind of make this a non-football, non-Panthers issue, and it becomes a more serious brand of off-the-field, away-from-the-facility issue that Adrian Wilson is going to have to deal with. And it's between him and the Scottsdale Police Department, and obviously the victim of the alleged abuse or assault and everything else.
All right, this one comes from the conversation we had yesterday about how the Canes have a strong defense but still lack a second-line scoring. Still a couple of holes, I guess you can say, for lack of a better term, on the roster. This one comes from Ryan. Based off what I've heard, the team is going to have to change. I would rather be defensively sound and have games decided whether or not we could score compared to a race to score the most. So as opposed to hey, we can be defensively.
Does it have to be that? Are those the only two options?
I mean, defense travels. It's like you're pitching. Pitching's always going to keep you in games. Defense is always going to keep you in games.
Yeah, but is it impossible to have a good second line scoring and a good defense?
I mean, you're asking a lot here.
Could you, it's the same thing, right? You've saved your defense. Your defense is going to be good because you were able to take the money that was going to, say, Brady Shea, and got 2 defensive players that can be that third pair, right? And so there's a lot of good that they did. However, can't you not do the opposite and go say, all right, how many forwards do they have signed? 15? And I know it's not 15, but it's a lot. Can you not take 3 of those salaries, combine them, be a little less deep, but have a legit scorer on your second line? I don't like to work in absolutes. It doesn't have to be if you have a good second line, that means your defense is giving up 4 goals a game. It's whoa. Could also mean that you might give up half a goal more per game, but you score 2 more goals per game. There's a sliding scale somewhere.
Yeah, I did the math last week, and Carolina needs to replace 28.9% of their goal production from last year. 80 goals that they scored last year, those players are no longer with the team. So it's 1 goal per game. And same with the playoffs. It's about 28.9% of their playoff goal scoring is no longer with the team. So that's what you're looking to replace this year. Now, does that also come from a full healthy season of Andrei Svechnikov, who's not rehabbing from a knee injury? How much can that be?
Maybe a Seth Jarvis might have 5-6 more if he doesn't have a torn labrum the entire season.
Aho could have a couple more. Yeah. Just sometimes you just got to expect your guys that are still young and developing to continue to develop.
But the problem is I think all 3 of those guys are going to be playing on the first line.
There is that. So yeah, where does it all
Where does the improvement on the second line come from?
Great question. This actually, same thing. This one comes from Nell. Losing Gensel, Nason, Pesci, Teravainen, and Shea no doubt hurts, but this is still a playoff team under Rod Brindamore.
No disagreement.
Yeah,
I agree. But I also have aspirations of something higher.
Sure.
I don't want to quote unquote, and I know this is ridiculous. If you're like a San Jose Sharks fan, I don't want to just be a playoff team. I don't want to just – I feel like I'm in a rom-com right now. I don't want to settle for just good. I want something to light my heart on fire. I don't just want to settle for the playoffs. I want something that's going to hoist a cup, right? I don't want to just be Rod Brindamore is such a good coach that you could give him anybody and he's going to make it to the postseason. I don't want that. I want to give him as a great chef, I want to give him the best ingredients so then he can rise to heights beyond where he's been. I'm not saying I'm not complaining like they're in the dungeon. I'm complaining like they've been in the postseason the last 6 consecutive years, and I know there's some other level you can reach. That's what I'm saying. I don't want just okay. I want spectacular. You feel me?
One last one here for you.
I don't know if I can pull off you feel me. I tried.
I think you did.
All right, cool. I'm with it.
I think you did all right. All right, so last week when you were not here on Wednesday, Graham and I did for our 99 questions leading up to the college football season, we kind of did a little fun bit of, all right, there's officially SMU, Cal, and Stanford are joining the ACC. It's like a fun bit.
Yep.
Let's assign them rivals that are currently ACC schools. We said SMU, Georgia Tech, based off of a rivalry that they had in the 50s in football.
Yeah.
Both teams were top 15 at times playing each other. Bring back that rivalry. We said Stanford, UVA, good matchup right there in terms of similar academics, very good at Olympic sports. And then we said, why not UNC and Cal? Because Cal beat UNC in back-to-back seasons under the Larry Fedora era, and then that ushered him out the door. So we posted that clip on YouTube. Again, a fun little bit. And people took it really serious, Tim, that we said these things, including from David said, ACC is done. What a joke. Also from Tata Freeman says, you are not being serious, I hope. If this is a thing, UNC is better served leaving the ACC.
Well, first of all, discussing, even if they were ridiculous rivalries, discussing ridiculous rivalries is the mark of the ACC being done. That's the line.
Yeah, no, clearly. And Carl said, this is absurd.
Having 2 of your better football programs want out, you're good. Accepting SMU kind of when so many other conferences wouldn't. All right, yeah, you're fine. Discussing SMU as a rival of Georgia Tech, while that is the canary in the mine, things are going horrendous. I don't know. It's sometimes commenters just want to be mad about something.
It's like, oh, wow, okay. Clearly was just having a little fun.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm glad you guys had fun while I was gone, though. Right now, I want to tell you about my friends over at Fox & Bailey Watch Shop located inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry. But this time, normally I tell you to walk in Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh and go right all the way to the Fox & Bailey Watch Shop. This time I'm going to tell you, once you walk through the doors, go left. And all the way over to the left, there is the second largest Omega boutique of its kind in the entire country. And if you take the tour, you walk around the outside looking in the cases, you're going to see the Constellation, a little bit of a dress watch. You're going to see the Seamaster. Yes, that is the model worn by the very famous, yes, the one you're thinking of, movie Spy. You're going to see the Speedmaster, which is one of my personal favorites. It is the watch that was worn on the moon. Think about that. On the moon. It's been trusted to measure times of moonwalks and spacewalks. It is the official timekeeper of NASA. Omega's the official timekeeper of the Olympics. That's coming up in not too long of a time here. And what one haven't I mentioned yet? I said Speedmaster. Oh, the DeVille, another dressier watch. If you want to get fancy for an occasion, or you just want to be fancy on the day-to-day, check them all out. They have a wonderful, wonderful array of classic timepieces that are some of my favorites. It's on the Omega Boutique, located inside Raleigh's Village District location of Bailey's Fine Jewelry. It opened in mid-February, still relatively new. Like I said, walk in, look left, walk straight. You'll see it. You won't be able to miss it. And make sure you know when you check out the Omegas that you heard about it right here on The Drive. Tell them I heard about it from Tim on 99.9 The Fan. The starting five is coming up next. Don't go anywhere.
The Adam Gold Show.
I saw some video of LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry. The last time we saw something like this was the Dream Team. Michael Jordan, the best player. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the 7th best player in the history of the game. This team has LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Historically ridiculous.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending and Cary. Date the rate, marry the house. A phrase often used by realtors to describe the difference between keeping your new forever home as opposed to your mortgage rate, which you'll only keep until something better comes along, kind of like speed dating. A recent study by the Wall Street Journal further supports this notion by finding the average life of a loan to be less than 4 years. Their suggestion? Find a no-fee loan, which is exactly what Miller Lending has been telling you since 1996. With no closing costs of any kind, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance each time something better comes along. So while builders promote buy-downs with over $10,000 in closing costs, or lenders advertise crazy low rates with even more, Miller Lending continues to be the leader in the no-cost mortgage. So before you throw away thousands of needless fees, pick up the phone and call your local neighborhood lender, Miller Lending and Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
Is foot pain keeping you from living the life you love? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store, and life is too short to be living with foot, knee, or back pain. When all 4 arches in your feet are supported, the results can be amazing. Go to goodfeet.com to make your appointment today.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Adam Gold in studio with my man Patrick Day from the Aluminum Company of North Carolina. Everything for the exterior of your home, but it's also everything for the peace of mind of the customer. Talk to me about the trust factor and everything else that you guys offer.
I got to tell you, I think one of the biggest things for us is we don't take any payment from you for any of your home improvement needs until we're done with the project. I hear stories all the time about people putting down deposits with companies, 25, 50% of the project total overall, and they don't even know, they don't show up.
Right.
You've lost whatever percentage you put down, that's how much power you lost already. Right?
Right.
So with us, you pay nothing until we're done. Typically we're not the least expensive and we're certainly not the most expensive. You get 3 or 4 estimates, we're going to fall right there in the middle. But, you're going to have a warranty that's lifetime, transferable for 10 years on any of the products we sell typically. And we've been around since 1961. You can trust us. We've been around forever.
It is about trust. And I think you guys are the most trustworthy business that I know. Aluminum Company of North Carolina, aluminumcompany.com.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader. This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. It's yet another afternoon in the sauna, and we have so many more to come. 77 the low tonight with partly cloudy skies. An evening shower can't be ruled out, and a few showers and storms possible tomorrow afternoon. The high 96.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 52 points to 39,291. Market update brought to you by Gregory Pool Equipment Company. Gregory Pool Equipment Company is hosting a hiring event at their Barrel Road location in Raleigh, July 13th from 9 a.m. to noon. Paid training and a generous benefits package. More info at gregorypool.com/careers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is 5 o'clock. Matter of fact, it's almost 5:03. That means we need to jump into the starting five, starting with number 5. Brett Yormark is the commissioner of the Big 12. Brett Yormark is writing checks that his conference can't cash. Brett Yormark spoke to the media today as part of the Big 12 Media Days openings. And, well, he challenged the ACC whether he intended to or not.
And all eyes are now on the Big 12 for all the right reasons. And I think it's safe to say we are more relevant now than ever before. Before I look forward, I'd like to recap where we've been for the last 12 months. Since our last football media day, we added the Four Corners and solidified ourselves as one of the top 3 conferences in America.
Let's just start before he got to the top 3 conferences, which obviously they aren't. All eyes are on the Big 12 for all the right reasons. If any eyes are on the Big 12, do you know what they're on the Big 12 for?
What's that?
Oh, what are they going to do without Texas and Oklahoma?
There's that.
That's the right reasons. The right reasons is because your 2 biggest, most profitable brands left. That's all the right reasons. In what measure is the Big 12 the 3rd best conference? Maybe a number of teams. I don't know how many teams they got down there, and they added a bunch of them. Maybe that's
Well,
it.
they lost 2 and added 4?
So, yeah.
Or is it more? Because I know, like, Cincinnati.
Yeah, those were already, they were in the mix.
Yeah.
By the way, at Big 12 Media Days, I don't know if everybody saw this. How do you spell Cincinnati? Because the Big 12 media doesn't know.
Really?
They had 1 N and 2 T's.
It's 1 N, 1 T. Or 2 N's, 1 T.
Yeah, flip it is what they had at Big 12 Media Day. 3rd best conference in the country. Doesn't even know how to spell one of their members' names, cities, like identity.
Good job, guys.
Can you imagine?
Hey, we have the real Queen City, Charlotte.
Can you imagine ACC kickoff? We're up there looking around. Clemson is spelled with 2 M's.
Yeah. They misspelled SMU. Huh.
Georgia's with a J. It's like, what is going on here? SMU is some. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. It's just, I know a commissioner has to hype up their conference because, why wouldn't you? But there's ways to do it that aren't as combative. Happy to be one of the premier conferences in college sports. Don't put a number on it. Happy to be solidified as a power conference. Don't put a number on it. Happy to be top 4. Although you might upset the Mountain West or something. The Sun Belt's going to come for you at that point. It's the top 2 are the SEC and the Big 10. Top 3 are the SEC, the Big 10, and the ACC. And there's a gap. And then there's the Big 12. Win more if you want to get in the top 3. What else do you want me to say? That's number 5. Let's get to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Duke basketball is everywhere. Can't look anywhere without seeing Duke basketball. Want to watch Team USA? You'll see Jason Tatum. You want to watch the team playing against Team USA in the camp? You'll see Cooper Flagg. You want to watch or complain about the players chosen for Team USA? You'll see Grant Hill, who's assembling the team. You want to watch the NBA offseason drama unfold? You'll see J.J. Redick as the head coach of the Lakers. You want to look at the hype for the college basketball season coming up? There'll be Cooper Flagg and Malawash and Harris and Evans and you want to watch the NBA G League? You'll see Jared McCain and Kyle Filipowski. They're all over the place right now. And that's in a world that's becoming more, meaning college sports, that's becoming more about buzz and more about name recognition and more about brand building and more about Q score and fame score and all of those things. That's good for Duke. Just like, to use a rival, when Armando Bacot went and said he made over $2 million for UNC. Not for UNC. He did make more than $2 million for UNC.
Yeah, but he made it for himself at UNC.
Over $2 million while he was playing for UNC. That's good brand building for UNC. It just seems like for every one of those stories, there's another story of a Duke player signing a max contract. There's another story of Jason Tatum going, "You made $2 million? That's nice." I've a $2 million watch collection that's going to get way bigger because I'm just signed for $315 million.
Yeah, I make 60 more than that.
Per year?
Per year.
For the next 5 or however much, next 4, however much it is. The good vibes are flowing for Duke basketball right now. Cooper Flagg, there was quotes from anonymous GMs that said he was the best player on the Team USA select team.
Which has current NBA players.
Which has the second pick in last year's draft who played really well for the Hornets this past year, and Brandon Miller. He's on the roster doing his thing, and they said Cooper Flagg was better than him, and he's going to Duke next year. Brandon Miller was one of the leading candidates for all rookie teams.
He was good.
Really good. There was compliments coming from Team USA saying Cooper Flagg is fearless. He goes out there and plays. That's against a team that Steve Kerr, the head coach of Team USA, is saying has 12 Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
That's absurd. Jared McCain making his little bit of corner, his corner shooting, but he's got his little corner of Duke news. Let's go to the clip about Jared McCain talking about what he wants to accomplish as a rookie.
Everywhere I've gone, I feel like I can find my role. Whatever I can do to help the team win, just find an opportunity on the floor. Whatever coach wants me to do, I think I can do it, and just any way to help the team win.
Any way to help the team win. Probably going to be shooting the deep ball, Jared McCain. That's what you do. I love when a 175-pound pass-catching running back is if they need me to go between the tackles, I'll do whatever the team needs me to do. We're nobody expects the team to need you to do that. Jared McCain's I'll do whatever you need. Whatever you need me to do. Joel Embiid's going to be down low, and Paul George is going to be slashing, and Tyrese Maxey's going to be creating. We need you to stand in the corner and knock it down the few times we throw it to you a quarter. Deal. So it's when I know that, you walk in or you're going to a party and they have everything and they just need ice. And you're do you need me to pick up anything? Absolutely anything? I'll get anything. They're ice. It's yeah, it was easy to offer to help when I knew you only needed ice. He's I'll do it. You want me to play defense? You want me to set screens? You want me to take charges? No, we want you to stand to the side and shoot. All right, fine. I want credit for being willing to do those other things, though. That's number 4. Let's get to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
So yesterday during the starting 5, we had a WWE storyline, John Cena's retirement. I am not a diehard fan of pro wrestling. However, I am a diehard fan of PGA Tour golf and professional golf as a whole. And golf got its own kind of WWE wrestling storyline.
Oh, so make a heel turn?
Kind of, or the reverse of. What is it?
Oh,
what is
a babyface turn.
Sure, if that's what that is.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. Keegan Bradley, last year, they put out the Full Swing, the Netflix documentary behind the scenes of the tour. And Netflix made it look like Keegan Bradley was kept off the Ryder Cup team despite being one of the more deserving picks because the captain was better friends with other players on tour. They literally showed it to where Keegan Bradley was like by himself with his wife and his kids saying like, I hope I get to play in Paris. I've put in the work and I've done everything I need to. Like just so earnest. And then they showed the captain, who was Zach Johnson, who got to make 6 of the picks, sitting at a table with like Justin Thomas, Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler, having lunch or having dinner and just going like, so who are you going to pick? Me or Keegan Bradley? Ha, 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 ha. And then sure enough, they show the Zach Johnson calling Keegan Bradley to say Keegan doesn't get to go. And then Keegan gets sad and his child, who's probably 4, goes up and is like, does daddy need a hug? And it's this whole emotional thing about Keegan Bradley getting messed over out of the chance to be a Ryder Cup participant. Guess who was announced as the Ryder Cup captain for the next Ryder Cup next year?
Oh, who's that?
Keegan Bradley.
Oh, okay.
So now he has, by any stretch, right, and this is just us from the outside, we've watched the proceedings, has to have a grudge against the inner kind of boys club of last year's Ryder team, except now he has all the power. He is going to be the one deciding who gets to go to the Ryder Cup and who doesn't. So this little inner circle boys club that was like joking and laughing about them going to the Ryder Cup, he now has all the power. The guy went from the outcast to the cool kid. And by the way, Keegan Bradley, it's not like he's undeserving. He was deserving of going to Paris, and he's deserving of being a Ryder Cup captain. He's been a multiple-time Ryder Cup guy, and he has a history of winning tournaments. It is just like, I'm trying to think of the way to describe this for another team. Imagine if Terrell Owens was like ostracized from Philly and then replaced Andy Reid as the head coach in Philly. Right, when it was like he was doing sit-ups in his front yard and it was a big dramatic thing and nobody knew who was right and who was wrong. There was so much behind-the-scenes talking. Him and Donovan McNabb were feuding, and then he left. And it was like, oh, Philly wins, right? Donovan won. He gets to stay. And then suddenly T.O. was his head coach. And it's like, oh, no. And he benches him. It's going to be crazy to see who he decides to go to the Ryder Cup. Good for Keegan Bradley. Now he just needs he needs music, right? So you'd be like, oh, is that Keegan Bradley's music?
Oh, we can make that.
He's a New Englander guy. Is there New England, Boston, anything?
And John Cena's from that area.
No.
There you go.
There we go.
See, there it is.
That was stuck in my head all day yesterday.
Good.
That's number 3. Let's get to number 2.
Just the two of us.
This is news that broke just a short time ago, and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up to make sure, because it is a little bit of a sensitive nature, the news. So yesterday, Adrian Wilson, we talked about it on the show. It was revealed he is no longer the vice president of player personnel for the Carolina Panthers.
Played football at NC State in the late 90s.
Played from High Point.
Yep, played a long time in the NFL with the Arizona Cardinals.
He's in the Cardinals Ring of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
This news broke on, I saw it first on ESPN. If there was another reporter that got there first, I apologize. But I'm going to read from the ESPN article, reporting done by Josh Weinfuss. Former Carolina Panthers Vice President of Player Personnel, Adrian Wilson, was arrested on 3 charges of domestic violence, according to the Scottsdale Police Department. Wilson, 44, was charged with intentional assault causing physical injury, damaging property between $250 and $2,000, and disorderly conduct, disrupted behavior, or fighting, according to police reports. Yesterday, we talked about what we thought might have been, or with the information we had no reason to believe it wasn't, a football decision. So it was like, is this more instability in the decision-making core for the Panthers, right? We went back and I watched one of those behind-the-scenes off-season blueprint episodes where when Jonathan Brooks was drafted in the 2nd round by the Panthers, Adrian Wilson was high-fiving, was very excited. In that war room, he was very elated.
We did bring up, if something like this happened, we hoped it wasn't the case.
Correct.
Just based off the Carolina Panthers' reaction and their statement that they put out. It seemed like something happened.
So this changes kind of your reaction to everything. This is, I mean, unless it becomes some kind of weird epidemic where multiple employees are getting caught up in this kind of off the field, away from the facility situation. This isn't like, oh, the Panthers are, impatient with their personnel and you need to let them, work through professional struggles. This is, you got to evaluate the facts that you have and make a decision that is, what you feel is ethical and moral and everything else for the workplace culture that you're trying to build. So the Vice President of Player Personnel, Adrian Wilson, out from the Panthers, and also was arrested on 3 charges of domestic violence, according to the Scottsdale Police Department. Those two make it a much different story than the one we discussed yesterday. Want to make sure we emphasize the seriousness of the away from the facility situation.
And here's something as well. It's like if this is true, again, he's arrested, so he had nothing been guilty of anything like that. But if this is true, then yeah, you don't want those people part of your organization. You don't.
Yeah.
You generally don't want those people part of your organization.
I think that's, obviously you got to let the court system play out and all of that. But yeah, if the allegations are true or even partially true, there's going to be an aggressive deal there that you have to treat appropriately, which parting ways is probably the appropriate way. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The one!
This is a different bit of the Panthers that, I think is a bit more, healthy debate. You can have different opinions on this one. It's not as serious in nature. Nicole Tepper, the owner, along with her husband, David Tepper, of the Carolina Panthers, was in the draft room. That very same draft room I was just discussing, where they were reacting to picks and hearing trades and making trades and calling it into the league. That very same draft room had Nicole Tepper sitting at a desk. And she was talking to the front office personnel. And she was talking about trades. And that upset a ton of people. Oh, my goodness. You can't have an owner that's participating in the football side of things. She doesn't need to have this. They shouldn't be listening to that. Why is she a part of that conversation? I'll tell you why she's a part of that conversation. Because they spent over $2.2 billion to buy the Carolina Panthers. And unfortunately, that's really all the reason you need. You walk in, you sit down, you say, hey, what do you think about this? And by the way, suggesting something or being a part of a conversation doesn't mean you have the final say. I don't think the Teppers, if in the best interest of the team, should be bullying the front office into decisions that they want, going against the best intentions of the front office. If the front office is saying we should pick player A, the Teppers should not overrule them and say take player B. I'm fine with that. But if the Teppers want to say, have you looked at player B? I'm fine with that. And that goes for any owner of any professional sports team. If you want to go, hey, I was on YouTube last night and I saw a highlight film of player B. Have we thought about him? That's just a suggestion. Then go, yeah, we looked at him. Yeah, he's got a good highlight film, but these are the reasons why we're leaning player A. That's fine. That is fine. I think some people are blinded by rage for the Teppers.
Oh, understandably so. You hear Tepper and decision-making, generally it's not gone well.
It's going to be like Tepper ordered pizza for the entire front office.
How dare.
And they're going to be screaming like, he didn't even get the extra cheese.
No garlic knots? What are we doing here?
Just pizza? Oh, keeping it cheap. It's like, sometimes it's just a pizza party. Yeah. Like Nicole Tepper being in that room, it might be annoying if you're like Dan Morgan or Dave Canales. It might be like, gosh, all right, we got to answer these questions. But that's life. Your boss wants to have a conversation. You got to have a conversation. Yeah. And I'll use a different example than the one I used earlier in this industry. What we do, you can usually talk about with your boss, right? Boss usually, watches sports, whatever. I've and this is at a previous stop, so nothing in the building we're in now, nothing in the company I work for now. I've seen engineers, okay, who are, darn near geniuses, right? Because in radio, there's a lot of equipment. There's, sometimes equipment needs to be talking to each other that is from different eras. Like they are technical wizards, these engineers. I've seen engineers have to explain things to the big boss. And when I tell you, it feels like, they have to take an idea that is like 6 books long worth of words and letter combinations and explain it like A, B.
Explain it to me like I'm 5.
C to a big boss. And they don't go like, you don't understand. This isn't your expertise. Get the heck out of here. They go like, all right, this is going to be annoying, right? Because I think in calculus, graduate level 535, and I have to explain this in like middle school math. And it's going to be really annoying for me to do this. But you're the boss, so I'm going to do it. If David and Nicole Tepper go into the war room and say, tell me why we're not waiting at the pick that we have at 33 and have to trade up to 32 to get Xavier Legette, guess what? You explain it. That's what you do. Just like the engineer has to explain, right? Because sometimes an engineer wants to buy, a $15,000 piece of equipment for the tower. And it might be needed. And the engineer probably wants to just say, it's needed because I said so, right? It's needed because I know what I'm talking about. But when the boss says, why is it needed, you better be able to explain why that expenditure is needed. If David Tepper or Nicole Tepper wants to say, like, are we thinking about making this trade? You probably want to say, yeah, we're thinking about it because I like the player and I want him. But in actuality, you might have to explain more than that. You might say, well, we've been trying to get a running back, and we're going to try to move back with our next pick and then go get Jonathan Brooks. And you may have to explain that to them like they're 5. They paid $2.27 billion for it. Just kind of the way it is. You can be mad at the Teppers for a lot of things.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not sure this clip of Nicole Tepper being in the room is one of them. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Real quickly, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Law Tigers. Earlier today, I was driving down I-40, and sometimes you see, the electronic signs, like electronic billboards that are like over top the road, giving you information, clicking or ticket, things along those lines. And it said motorcycle safety. Check your blind spots, share the road. And I, as someone who rides a motorcycle, was not riding my motorcycle today, but as someone who rides a motorcycle, that was very refreshing to me to remind people out there that, you know what? Sometimes motorcycles are a little bit harder to see, obviously smaller than a normal size, car or truck. That check your blind spots before you're, merging over on, one side of the road to the other. Something we should all do anyway, but motorcycle safety is very important. But it's also safety for motorcycles or people riding on a motorcycle, motorcyclists, also falls on the rider as well. Hey, don't sit in the blind spots. Make sure you make yourself visible to the cars behind you and beside you and assume no one sees you. So motorcycle safety is imperative. But if you are ever injured in a motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. The insurance company wants to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers are riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. When we come back, we're going to have the numbers game, so we need to get a couple of contestants. So you know what you're playing for. We have a pair of tickets to see Monster Jam at PNC Arena later this month, July 27th. If you want to win the tickets, you got to play the game. If you want to play, you got to call in now. We need 2 contestants. 919-860-5326 is the number to call. 919-860-5326. We had a 5 for 5 yesterday. Let's stay hot. Numbers game coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
There was such an incredible stretch of rom-coms. Where is the How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days of the world? Where's the She's All That? It feels like everything now is just a remake of something else, and it's done poorly.
Well, they did remake She's All That.
I know.
With Addison Rae.
I didn't watch it. We didn't need that.
Unsportsmanlike. Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Doesn't the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club give the best massages?
I've never felt so relaxed.
Thanks to this month's scratch-offs, this is our life now.
It's like winning again and again and again.
New $80 million cash blowout and triple red sevens mean new winners. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds winning range from 4.28 to 9.95. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0-interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part. You actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
You're not going to want to miss this. Diamonds Direct summer sale starts next weekend. For 3 days only, next Friday through Sunday, get 20% off. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, and more. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. And designers are flying in from New York and LA to showcase their latest trends. That's 20% off, plus $100 off with an appointment and designer trunk shows. Tons of engagement rings on sale, too. 20% off starts next Friday. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Hey, it's Roger Moore, CEO of Loan Pronto. If you're like me, you're getting crushed by rising costs of everything these days. I get it. It's brutal, and credit card rates are ridiculous and going higher. That's why at Loan Pronto, we launched our Express Equity Line of Credit to bring you the relief you and your family need, using your home, your most valuable asset. We've helped thousands of people like you get fast relief with cash. The average homeowner who does this gets tens of thousands in just days and is able to save $850 per month in overall expenses. I'm talking life-changing money. Your money that you have access to right now. Listen, if you're ready to get control of your finances and get off the hamster wheel, call Loan Pronto. You can get approved for Express Equity Line of Credit in just minutes, and we can get your cash in less than a week. Stop digging a deeper credit card hole today. Call Loan Pronto now. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Picture this, the perfect summer barbecue. No stress, no responsibilities, just all your friends, burgers sizzling, hot dogs cooking, Pepsi Zero Sugar fizzing, and a backyard of very, very happy people. Oh yeah, we could get used to this. Very, very used to this. Grilling, better with Pepsi.
For a limited time, get 2 20-ounce Pepsis for only $4.25 at Refuel. So hurry in and enjoy an ice-cold Pepsi today.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the numbers game here on the Drive. Oh, look at this! I brought up our our little sheet here that we do for the numbers game. And there's some fun facts here. Longest duration between perfect 5 for 5s, 52 days. Shortest duration.
Oh, okay.
We've gone back-to-back days twice, March 7th and 8th and March 13th and 14th.
Let's make it another one. Let's go.
We're looking for the next
July
back-to-back
8th and
day.
9th, baby. Let's go.
That's what we're looking for.
No pressure.
John and Wilson and Fernando and Clayton.
Yep.
That's what we have on the line. The prize for today is a pair of tickets to see Monster Jam at PNC Arena on July 27th. As always, we have to ask a question to see who goes first. We'll go with this. John and Wilson. Here's the question. Sir. Dennis, you're going to be the judge for this, and you'll see why in a second. If you were a WWE wrestler, since we were just talking about say hello to the little one for us.
Yeah, little one's back there too.
If you were a WWE wrestler and you had to pick your intro music that would signify you're here, you're ready to jump into the action, what would it be?
Oh, I'm gonna go something heavy metal. I'm a bit of a rock fan. I'll go something like a Slipknot or something like that there.
All right. Duly noted. You're getting a nod from Dennis. We'll see if that gets you the first pick. We'll go to Fernando and Clayton. Fernando, same question to you. If you were a WWE wrestler, what would be the music that signifies you're in the building?
TNT. I'm Dynamite.
All right. I like the confidence. Dennis, I said you're the judge. Who gets the win?
I got to go with Fernando here because he chose a specific song.
Okay.
The specificity, yeah.
John may have been a little distracted. He had the little.
But I mean, maybe that is his entrance music. A baby just starts popping off in the background, like
instead of broken glass, it's just a baby crying.
Hey, it happens.
For Fernando and Clayton, you get to go first here. The categories you get to choose from: NFL E. Those are all players whose first name starts with the letter E. NFL Johnson Family Reunion. All players whose last name is Johnson. NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Can I get NBA, please?
NBA current players only is the choice. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. There will be 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will begin when you hear the horn. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets.
30.
Incorrect. Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies.
2.
Incorrect. Nikola Jokic, Denver Nuggets.
15.
Correct. Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies.
1.
Incorrect. Jalen Green, Houston Rockets.
20.
Incorrect. Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies.
12.
Correct. Robin Lopez, Milwaukee Bucks.
15.
Nope. Normally I say incorrect. I don't know why I just hit you with the nope. You got Jokic with 15. You got Morant with 12. Jalen Green with the Rockets wears number 4. And Robin Lopez, which you really didn't have much time for, wears number 42 with the Bucks. But you got 2. That is the number that'll take you into the clubhouse, leader in the clubhouse. We'll see if it holds up. All right, Fernando?
Yes, sir.
All right. That brings us back to John and Wilson. John, are you there?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are NFL E, all players whose first name starts with E, NFL Johnson Family Reunion, all Johnsons, or NHL Canes and Whalers only.
Go NFL Johnson.
All right. These are all players whose last name is Johnson. I will give you the player and the team. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. You need 3 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Andre Johnson, Houston Texans.
80.
Correct. Brad Johnson, Minnesota Vikings.
14.
Correct. Derek Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
83.
Incorrect. Chris Johnson, Tennessee Titans.
28.
Correct. Tepper Johnson, New York Giants.
40.
Incorrect. Derek Johnson, Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, God. 85.
Incorrect. Pepper Johnson, New York Giants.
I have no idea. 80.
Look at that. You had the win. You coasted into the finish line. Andre Johnson, 80. Brad Johnson, 14. Chris Johnson, 28. You got those 3. It's enough for the win. If you're playing at home, Derek Johnson with the Chiefs, number 56. Pepper Johnson with the Giants, number 52. But you didn't need those. It was enough to get the Monster Jam tickets. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So you have the tickets to see Monster Jam PNC Arena on July 27th. Go ahead and sit on the line, and we'll make sure we get the info we need from you to get your tickets to you.
Yes, sir.
All right. There you go. That was a little exciting, right? Yeah. I wonder if he would have done a better job of brainstorming those last two if he didn't just have the wailing child in the background. As somebody with a toddler, I can tell you, little distracting. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, I want to tell you about my friends over at Capital Financial Advisory Group, and you know that means I'm talking about my guy, Coach Pete. He likes to ask some questions, and these questions are simple, but if you don't know the answers, you probably want to call Coach Pete. Do you know exactly how much you're spending on commissions each year out of your retirement accounts? Do you know exactly the amount of risk you're taking with the money you have earmarked for retirement? How many fees are coming out of that account? If you don't know those answers or you can't find them out pretty quick, it's time to sit down and see for yourself how these financial termites can wreak havoc on your financial plan. There's nothing worse than getting to retirement or getting to when you hope to retire and you realize there's been some leaks in the bucket and there's not as much there as you were hoping. Coach Pete knows how to exterminate each of those financial termites, patch up those leaks, and get you to and through retirement worry-free. Right? It's a second look that could become the best decision you ever made. If you're looking for Coach Pete, if you're looking for Capital Financial, I'll give you the number. The only thing we ask is that you let them know you heard about it right here on The Drive. You heard about it from Tim. Give them a call, 800-691-3215. Not only will they give you that once over, not only will they give you a complete and total retirement plan, they'll also hook you up with a copy of one of his best-selling books for free if you tell them you heard about it from me here on 99.9 The Fan. So say Tim sent you when you call this number, 800-691-3215. Or if you're more of a texter than a caller, that's fine. There's a lot of us nowadays. Just text my name, Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's T-I-M to 600-700 to let them know you're interested. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Derrick Brown, maybe the best player on the Panthers. Where is he ranked at his position according to coaches and executives across the league? I'll tell you next.
The Adam Gold Show.
I saw some video of LeBron, KD, and Steph Curry. The last time we saw something like this was the Dream Team. Michael Jordan, the best player. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, the seventh best player in the history of the game. This team has LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Historically ridiculous.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
Hello, I'm John Heister for the Heister Automotive Group. And we're constantly looking for ways to serve you better. One of the ways we do that is with something we call a Go-See. And that's where you select a vehicle from our inventory, and we have thousands, and we get one of our product specialists to bring that vehicle to you at your convenience. How do we do that? Well, it's simple. We have a group of employees that are evaluated based on the number of presentations they do. They're glad to do it. So it's just one more way we get off our keister and bring Heister to you.
Hungry for flavor and value? Then it's Bo time. Nothing slays the hunger beast like some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. And there's never been a better time to satisfy your Bojangles sandwich cravings than now. With Bojangles Summer Sandwich lineup, you can choose a flavorful Cajun fried chicken filet sandwich, or a tender Cajun grilled chicken filet sandwich, or a crispy Cajun filet club sandwich, or a tasty Bo's chicken sandwich. Make it a sandwich combo and add your choice of a side. Maybe Bojangles seasoned fries, dirty rice, or Cajun pintos. And to complete the perfect meal, Bojangles legendary iced tea. There's a Bojangles sandwich combo for everyone in the family. Summer just doesn't get any better than that. What are you waiting for? You know you're hungry, and you know you want flavor and value. So, it's Bojangles Sandwich Combo time.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to a gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offer subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? You've got an oil change coming up. You can go farther and save on full synthetic with our oil change special. Right now, you can get 5 quarts of STP full synthetic oil with an STP extended life oil filter for just $29.99. Get the parts you need when you need them at AutoZone or AutoZone.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your ATV, your side-by-side, even your golf cart are the best around. From sound station and security, we've got custom stereo systems, custom speakers, even video and LED lighting options for your bike, your ATV, and even your golf cart. Look the coolest on the road or at the lake just tooling around. All available with installation from sound station and security with 2 locations, downtown Smithfield and on Glenwood Avenue in Raleigh. Online at myhotsound.com.
Hey, John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Move your sports day forward.
Players get gaslit in arbitration. You relive every turnover, every lost battle in the corner, every missed shot, because this is about getting paid. But it's also, on the team's end, about getting under the cap.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Does anybody on the Panthers have a better approval rating right now than Derrick Brown?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Maybe J.J. Jansen.
Long snappers have a way of not really disappointing you unless things go really, really bad.
Been with the team for longer than anybody.
Derrick Brown is great. Derrick Brown needs to be better. Just because he is the best Panther, if you think he is, doesn't mean that he is all world. And sometimes you need to be reminded of that, right? Here's what it is. Here's what I'm trying to get at. Everyone has a best player on their high school team, right? There's a quick realization when you get to college of any sport where you're like, oh, we were all the best players on our high school team, weren't we? I might be the 15th best player here. That's unusual to me. Derrick Brown is the best Panther. That doesn't mean he's like the best player in the NFL. You can simultaneously be worth a large amount of money that you're being paid, or it was a good decision to give you the amount of money that you're being paid, while also acknowledging there's a lot of upward mobility that you need to go chase. ESPN talked with anonymous executives and coaches, because that's what you have to do to get a honest opinion on anyone else in the league, right? About the defensive tackles. They had them rank all of the defensive tackles in the NFL. They've done this for other positions. I didn't feel the need to look for Panthers. But when the defensive tackles came out, I was like, oh, I'm going to click this link. Let's see where Derrick Brown is. 7th. behind guys like Quinnen Williams and Chris Jones and a few others. 7th. There it is.
7.
Do you know why he's 7th? He just, broke the record for total tackles by a defensive tackle, by an interior defensive lineman. He had over 100. He's an unbelievable player. Why isn't he in the top 5? He's a bit one-dimensional. He is a run stopper extraordinaire. His career high in sacks is 3. This past year, he had 2 sacks. He was tied with 8 other defensive tackles for 27th most sacks by a player at the position. Which means there's someone who's not one of the 32 best defensive tackles in the league that is tied with him for number of sacks. He's the 4th highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. He has to play better to make that make sense. With, I've used this term in the past, but it's just a good one when it comes to sports. With great money comes great responsibility. The guy got paid a boatload of money this offseason. They moved on from Brian Burns, yet paid Derrick Brown. He's going to have to get to the quarterback. He's going to have to get to the quarterback. He's a great run stopper. He's going to have to get to the quarterback. Right? And there are a long history of great interior defensive linemen in the NFL that were mostly run stuffers, right? They were guys that were like, yeah, you're going to have to use the center and the guard just to block me, and that's going to open up things for everybody else. You know what else those old school defensive tackles were? They were in the old school, which means they were playing against offenses that first priority was to get their running back 35 carries a game. I think I saw something that said in 15 years ago, so 2009, whatever it was, there were 9 running backs with at least 1,200 yards running. This past year, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, so it's just one.
There's uno. So you can't just be a run-stopping defensive tackle anymore and be worth being one of the top 5 highest paid at the position. You have to bring things to stop the passing game as well. So this is one of those deals where Derrick Brown is like I said, he might be the guy with the highest job approval rating of anyone on the Panthers. Definitely anyone that was around last year when the Panthers were the worst team in the NFL. He's a top 10 player at his position. But with any upset in sports, right? Which, by the way, if the Panthers go on a run, if they flirt with winning the division, if they flirt with the playoffs, any of that, it will be one of those Cinderella upset runs. They were the worst team in the NFL last year and didn't even benefit from getting the first overall pick because of it. If it's going to happen, you're going to need your best players to play great. It's very easy to look at somebody like let me think of an example here. Very easy to look at somebody like Dane Jackson and say, Dane's got to step up, right? Dane Jackson, who, if you're unaware of, he's right now penciled in to be the second starting corner opposite of J.C. Horn. But he's a journeyman, right? Brought in on a middle to lower free agency deal. It's like Dane Jackson has to step up. They need him to play corner. They need him to lock up the opposing team's second best wide receivers. It's like, yeah, but you're asking then a journeyman to play like a Pro Bowler. What's easier? Asking Derrick Brown, a guy that was drafted high, a guy that has immense physical abilities, a guy that you're paying, $20+ million a year, to play like a top 3 player at his position, or it is to ask Dane Jackson to say, when Drake London's on your side, you got to lock him up. Right? When Chris Olave's on your side, can't ever get out of position. It's probably easier to say, you know what? Try to give us 2.5 seconds of coverage, and then Derrick Brown's going to get him on the ground in the backfield. It's probably easier to look at your best players to make it easier on your role players than it is to look at your role players to make it easier on your best players. So if the Panthers are going to get significantly better from last year, it's going to be Bryce, it's going to be Derrick, it's going to guys that you recognize by their first names. It's going to be Deontay. I don't know if offensive linemen are quite first-name guys, but Robert Hunt.
Icky, yeah.
Icky for sure.
For sure.
Like, it's going to be the guys that have the upwards mobility, like the top-end talent that are most likely going to be the drivers towards any kind of improvement.
And this is what you expect from young players. Like, he's still a young player. Even though he's been in the league for 4 or 5 years, he's still a relatively young player. You still expect your young players to grow and develop. And that's, like you said, the next evolution of his game. The young man set an NFL record for number of tackles for a defensive lineman last season. Like you said, guy could stop the run all day. That's the next progression in his development as a player. Hopefully with other guys like A'Shawn Robinson playing next to him, and maybe if other guys around him can help alleviate some of that pressure so he's not getting double-teamed all the time, maybe that helps him out a little bit too.
He's 26 years old, and he'll be 26 for this entire year.
Yeah.
That's like
you should
prime
still,
years.
You should still be getting better.
Like
Absolutely.
now is the years where it's like put it together, right? 25 and younger, you're figuring it out. You're on a rookie deal. Now you've gotten the extension. You've gotten the commitment from the organization. You're 26. I'd say between like 26 and 32 for an interior defensive lineman is like, all right, go get it, right? Like now, give me 6. I'm not at. By the way, let me be clear on this. I'm not asking for 14 sacks. Like,
unless you're gonna do it.
Like, give me 6.5. You know what I mean?
Unless you're gonna do it.
Give me. Yeah, I'm not gonna turn them down. I'm not gonna be like, you've reached your max.
Like, hold on, hey, we cap commissions here, buddy. I need you to stop.
Like, give me 6.5 sacks and not a massive drop off in your run stop, and I'm good. That's how you end up the 4th best defensive tackle in the league rather than the 7th.
I mean, even just some other big play stuff like forcing a couple of fumbles. Maybe it's batting down a couple more passes, things like that. Like, you can add other things to your game as opposed to just being an amazing tackler, you know?
And by the way, there's like way more that goes into it than just like, hey, I get him on the ground. There's positioning, there's athleticism, there's chaseability. There's a lot. He's 6'5", 320, and he's a freaky athlete. Like, use that to not just get 100 tackles, but give me 6.5 sacks.
But the fact that other GMs and people around the league look at a player on the worst team in the league and say, hey, that dude is one of the best in the league at his position.
At least one of the players on the worst team. I don't know how many. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, about to come to a close, but Overdrive is coming up next. A conversation we had earlier today on the optimism for some young guys in the Kane system. We're talking prospects, Felix Unger-Soren, Bradley Nadeau, Jackson Blake. That conversation will also be featured in Overdrive to start things off. So until tomorrow, follow us on YouTube. I always say that. Subscribe to us on YouTube, please. 99.9 The Fan. That would be awesome of you to do. Enjoy Overdrive. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great night.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
What are you doing? Eating caviar. Yuck. Get this. Supreme 7 scratch-offs from the North Carolina Education Lottery have the best odds to win $400 with a $4 million top prize. So I'm